for the fifth and final round of the Bagger Racing League. I'm Rob Vitus, and joining me live in the booth today, a racer by trade, today an announcer, Mr. Tony Tucker.
Yeah, Rob, I wanted to say thank you for the opportunity to jump up here. Wish I could be down there on the grid with the boys this weekend, but best seat in the house right here in the booth next to you.
You know, I tell you what, sitting up here is a great seat, but what if you're down trackside? Let's meet the third member of the broadcast team, Miss Diana Dahlgren.
It's an absolutely amazing day here at Willow Springs Raceway. The guys are going to be putting it down, turning out these laps. It all comes down to this race. They've been racing here since 1953. We are so incredibly excited to see what kind of lap times these guys are going to put down. It's the last one of the season. Let's go racing. Guys, back to you.
Thanks a lot, Diana. Now, a lot of the people, Tony, they want to know what makes these bikes so raceable. What makes them something unique? And earlier, we had an opportunity to find out what makes these bikes in the Bagger Racing League race models. Let's check it out.
Hey everyone, I'm Diana Dahlgren. And are you new to the Bagger Racing League? Awesome! I'm here to show you the 6 different BRL racing classes. First off, let's look at the Icon Lightweight Twins. All bikes are Sportster-based motors. They are the most affordable, and this is best for people looking to get into the sport. Here we have the Zippers American Twins Unlimited. Run what you want here, Indian, Harley. There is absolutely no limit to special modifications. Next up, we have the DP Brakes FS Cup. There's only 2 bikes being ran in this class, the Harley Pan Americans and the Indian FTRs. All are liquid cooled, and they are the 2 most technically advanced bikes on the grid today. Here we have the Andrews Big Twin. These bikes are the FXRs, Softails, Dynas, and the Indian Chief. These bikes never had a platform to race until the Bagger Racing League. Next up is the Metzler Pro Stock Bagger class, our most popular class filled with baggers. This class is the pathway to bagger racing. And finally, the NAMS Bagger GP, the dream of every BRL racer. This is where you're going to find the fastest bikes and the fastest riders. This is our premier class. You want to be in the big boy club? NAMS Bagger GP is for you. Now that I've shown you the 6 BRL classes, let's go racing.
We all fired up down there. She's trackside. Tony and I are up in the booth. And how about our opening class? We're going to go into the Metzler Tire class coming up next. This is our Pro Stock class, a class you yourself race in. I think that we're probably close enough. We should meet maybe some of these riders that are competing. Now, the aerial view right now kind of gives you an idea. We got a nice little paddock over here.
Yeah, this track has it's very deceiving on camera, but it's got a lot of elevation riding up onto the side of the mountain here. This track can be very technical up on the hillside. It gets really fast, wide open down on the bottom, and down this front stretch that you can see.
Let's show you just how we're doing this here. We're going to make the first call from the TV booth. We need all those Pro Stock baggers. Start to make your way out to the grid locations as we get ready for our opening sight laps. I know we had a chance to talk to some of these riders earlier today, and I tell you what, with the first and second call already being shouted out, these racers and race fans are just about ready to go. What do you say we meet some of these BRL Pro Stock racers?
I'm standing here with the 2022 Bagger Racing League champion, Arnie Wells. How are you feeling about this weekend's race out here at Willow Springs?
Feeling pretty good. This is my first weekend out here, so just trying to figure out the track and get comfortable.
So you're sitting 5th in points right now. It's going to be a long shot to win the championship. Is there a pressure on you?
Not really. I want to go out and try to win the race. I don't think like the championship's possible, but I just want to go out there and give it.
You're going to go out there and crush it.
Yeah, thank you.
What about all your friends, all the homies that are rolling around the pits here? What are you guys doing to prepare for these races?
What's that?
What are you guys doing to prepare for these races? Are you hanging out with your boys on the off time? Are you coming out here wrenching?
Yeah, so a lot of the time, like, I don't really get to do much track days except for the races, so I'm hoping to change that for next year, just to improve. So, yeah, right now I'm just working and, yeah, just racing. The track time is the races, so.
Okay, well, we'll see Arnie Wells on the box tomorrow. We're going to see a top 3 finish from you, and then 2024, I see it right now, 2024 champion.
Great, thank you.
Okay, I'm standing here with young blood Clay Braun, hailing from 951. Clay, you're second in points. This is the last race of the season. What can we look forward to seeing on the racetrack?
Just a lot of sweet, nasty speed. Just party on Harleys with my boys. Nothing really other than that. I mean, we all come out here, expect the same goals. All want to be faster. All want to push each other. So it's cool to come out here and, you know, see the paddock and see all your friends from West Coast, East Coast, you know, Midwest, all that stuff. We all get to come and share the track together, so it's cool.
Is being the young blood your winning advantage?
I'm gonna say 100%, yeah, because it's not something you're taught. It's something that's like in your heart and in your blood, you know, and you don't ever want to give up. And everyone has a 9-to-5 job, and you know, you make it work outside of that, and you still get to have fun on the weekends, and you know, your professional, fun-having hobby. That's what I live for, and you know, people can't take that away from me. So it's pretty cool that I can try to persuade younger kids like that to do the same thing I'm doing. So that's the only reason that I started my company and why I'm out here pushing it so hard, and why I crashed today too, because I'm not here for a long time, I'm here for a good time. So that's all I gotta say.
Gunnar Willett standing here, you have qualified first for the weekend and you're first in the points. Are you excited going into the final race of the 2023 season?
I am so excited. I can't wait to see how everybody does. Sam, Youngblood, hopefully gets his bike back together, and hopefully we can have a nice battle at the top of the podium.
That's right, we're going to have an epic battle. You are the Cougar Killer. Tell me, what's going on with the Cougar Killer?
So before I even started racing, they looked at me one day and they were like, well, you look like a Cougar Killer. And it just stuck the whole time, and now it's my nickname.
Yeah, so believe that, the Cougar Killer. Okay, so you have some buddies here on the series. Do you guys get into it pretty good on the track?
Yeah, we usually battle here and there, but it's been like we're all still trying to figure these bikes out and trying to figure out how they're working and trying to figure it all out. But hopefully by the end of the season, we're all going to be battling for first, and hopefully it's a really good close race.
Well, we're excited to see you race, Gunnar. We're gonna kill it tomorrow. We're gonna see him at the top of the box, the Cougar Killer.
I'd like to draw your attention down to the front straight. We know that this track was built in 1953, and one of the individuals that's down here raced one of the first motorcycle races ever. He is our Grand Marshal, the owner of Parts Magazine, Drag Magazine, the only father and son to have ever won the Daytona 200. And ladies and gentlemen, he's down on the front straight. How about a big round of applause for our Grand Marshal, Mr. Don MD. He's got the slide glide down there firing up, and Don will take the opening lap here, as he did many, many years ago, and he's ready to go. He gets a shot from Dave, and Dave sends Don out on this sighting lap. And earlier, we had an opportunity to talk to Don MD. Third and final call, gang. Come on down.
Standing here with the Grand Marshal of our race here at Willow Springs, Don MD. You won the Daytona 200, and so did your dad. I mean, the only father-son combo to ever win races. That's pretty incredible.
Yeah, it was history. I grew up in the thing after my dad winning it and everything, and he was a motorcycle dealer later and got me involved in racing and everything, and it was always like, well, you better win that race. Everybody reminded me of that.
It's pretty incredible to see Bagger Racing League here in California, huh? Here at the Willow Springs Raceway. Absolutely incredible. You were saying you've grown up riding at this track.
Yes, I raced here a lot. The 1960s started out and everything, and we're here. It's a great racetrack, and they've had a lot of great riders have been here. It's way out, kind of away from town and everything. It's not a Daytona type of thing, but actually it's one of the hardest tracks to learn how to really ride fast at, and it's real challenging. And I think for a rider, it's like the best track you could be on.
Well, if you want to meet Don MD, then you need to get here to the Willow Springs Raceway. He's the Grand Marshal this weekend. We are so excited to have you, kind sir, and thank you.
Thank you.
Well, guys, there's Don MD out there on the track. Tony, this guy had a two-stroke, and speaking of two-strokes, we're going to have some of those in action today, but came out of the San Diego area and found out earlier on that there was a lot of people that came out of that San Diego that won the Daytona 200s. And what we're finding now is that Don MD still likes to twist the throttle a little bit.
Yeah, I had a great conversation with Don earlier today. He, he was telling me about some of the Yamaha two-strokes that he raced back in the 70s. A motor that I have a lot of passion for, so it's really cool to hear some of his stories.
Yeah, he tells a lot of great stories. He lived the live, he walked the walk, he talks the talk, and here he is out there. It's got to be a good time for him. His wife Tracy made the trip out there. Got two wonderful kids. He comes out of the San Diego area.
Yeah, Don was telling me earlier today that they used to truck the whole family up here from San Diego. They'd make the trip up. They'd leave the house about 4 in the morning, get up here, race, and drive home at night. And they do that every month.
Can you imagine Don down there mixing it up and battling it up? We gave the final call for the Pro Stock Baggers, and guess what, Tony? They came roaring out of the paddock. They're ready to go. I tell you what, folks, the gang that's down there that just watched the Sly Fox show as Don MD pulls into the paddock, how about a nice round of applause for our Grand Marshal, Don MD. Pro Stock Baggers make their way out onto the grid, and just like in all the road racing things, these folks will have a sighting lap. On that sighting lap, you're looking around. Is there any debris blow onto the course? Is there a big tumbleweed out there somewhere? This is your last chance to really have a look and see exactly what's going on in the world of bagger racing. And this is the first race of the day. We're going to have an exciting race. We're going to have these guys. We'll have our Icon Lightweight Twins, the Andrews Big Twin, of course, the FS Cup. We segue into some sidecar racing. We've got vintage bikes and two-strokes. We've got some of the guys out there in the bagger GP class just kind of chomping at the bit. We got that ATU. That's the run what you brung.
Yeah, these guys are going to get ready to head out for their sighting lap. And, I know for me, on this sighting lap, what I'm really trying to do is just, get in feel with the motorcycle. Get loose, start to feel it, make sure the track looks good, make sure there's no oil downs or anything that's changed since this morning. So this is a great opportunity to kind of get loose, get ready for the grid.
Here comes the rest of the riders. And speaking of that, let's give you a little rundown. How about our points leader? Is Gunnar Allett. He comes all the way from Massachusetts to make his trip out here. You move over and you got Danny Spina. Now, he goes by Danny Ruthless, I believe, on Instagram and things like that. You move over to grid spot number 3. Sam Guerin, all the way from Canada. Over here, we've got the Michael Arnie Wells. Now, you're familiar with Arnie.
Arnie's one of my best friends. Me and Arnie have had a lot of battles out here in the Pro Stock Bagger class in the past couple of years. So, he's one of my personal favorites. I'm a little biased because he's one of the greatest dudes in the pits.
Craig Braymiller, a great guy. He's the BRL rider rep, and what he does is he kind of looks after if somebody has a question, he can answer it. If there's something we need to do, he jumps up here and he's part of the action with us. So good to have him up here. So we got him. We have Eric Reyes out there. I'm not familiar with the 187.
I think Eric is a new rider with the BRL. This is the first time out with us. So it's great to see this class growing. Eric coming out, jumping up, joining the group and trying to mix it up out here with our Pro Stock Bagger class.
Yeah, and this is just a sighting lap that we're watching on the television screen right now. A couple of other guys. Emilio Jamirez. How about this guy? He gets married. Oh, he got engaged. He got engaged on his way out here.
Next in the grid, we got Steve Chamberlain. I like to call him the BRL's best friend. He's just a great guy, everybody's best friend in the pits. He just likes to have a good time, gives the best bear hugs out there. This dude rides his motorcycle in the canyons during the week and races it on the weekends.
Michael Vittel, the 117, he comes right out of the My Garage area. So Michael Vittel's out there. And then Clay Braun, he's not qualified on the back row. He didn't make qualifying yesterday. They rebuilt his bike overnight.
Yeah, Clay
had a little bit of a mishap yesterday. Went off in turn 5. They had to rebuild the bike. He wasn't able to get into the qualifying session, which just automatically puts him the back of the grid for the day. I know he'll be charging hard right off the start, though. That's his style.
Another rider we want to keep our eye on out there, Doug Ramey. Now, Doug came down to Daytona with us over a year ago. He was down there at Biketoberfest, had a bit of a get-off. He had to rebuild the entire bike. He had to come back, and he said, you know what? Not only am I coming back, I'm going to make sure that I put in some hard work. And then Chris Wiggins, he's out there on the number 9 machine. and he's in grid spot number 10.
Yeah, Chris Wiggins, actually another former hooligan racer that I rode with back in the day. So this is his first time out with the BRL as well. It's a growing class. It's great to see.
You know, Diana, you were down there trackside just a moment ago. Now you're high atop the thing. Look at the grid riders down there. We're going to have a number of rows. They had to qualify in. I want everybody to make sure they keep their eye on what Clay Braun's going to do. He rides a 951 machine. He wants to party on a Harley. He ain't here for a long time, but he is here for a good time.
Yeah, you know, he seemed very motivated to get out today, out in front, even though he's starting in the back of the pack. And we'll see what he puts down right now.
Well, let's capture the action, and we get into turn number 1, and it's Sam Guerin, the Canadian, out front.
Yeah, Sam's not taking any time. He's jumping out into the first spot in turn 1. He's being aggressive right from the get-go, but Arnie's not going to let him slip away. Arnie Wells chasing him into turn 2.
I got to wonder where Gunnar Olet is. We don't see him on the screen yet. He must have got a terrible start. He had pole position. Arnie's going to work. He went to Daytona early in the year, brand new bike. Wasn't used to GP shifting. Now he is. I think he's getting more and more comfortable. That makes him dangerous.
Arnie's always one of those ones that he just says he never really feels comfortable in practice and qualifying, but when the green flag flies, Arnie just turns it up a notch, and it shows here.
He's sitting fifth in points, but don't count him out. He told me, I'm coming in, I'm going to do the best that I can. I want to finish at the top of the championship as best as I can. He does think, obviously, the championship is not going to be in his cards this weekend, but if he can get top 3 for the championship, he's going to be a happy camper.
Well, out front, the original Garage Moto crew, that's the Canadian guy. Then behind him, Suburban, Harley Davidson, and Sly Fox put that machine together. You see the Drag Specialties color wave. This is the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. And Arnie Wells, he gathered him up, but now it seems like Sam might have found a little bit of a line out there.
Yeah, this is still early. This is lap 1. So these guys are still trying to ease in, make sure the tires are down. They don't get too aggressive, but they can't let Sam run away with it. This is just a 6-lap sprint, so there's not a lot of time to catch back up. So Arnie's going to have to stick with Sam here. They're coming across the start-finish line for the first time.
And they have broken away from the field right now, and it's really unique that these guys have really dropped the field this early, especially the Trask Turbo machine. That is the points leader right now, but you never know what can happen in this, and there's a big gap to the number 3 right now.
Yeah, I still have not seen where Gunnar has ended up. I don't see him on our screen here. It looks like Craig Braymiller and Steve Chamberlain. Oh, there's the 86. He's coming back. He's about 5th place right now, it looks like. So he's going to have to make up some ground here.
187 is on the move right now as well. Let's give a shout out to that machine, and that is Eric Ray. So great to have him join the BRL.
Yeah, it's great to see that first-time BRL rider with us, mixing it up here with Gunnar, our top points leader in the series right now.
Craig Braymiller from Buffalo putting in work right now. I know that him and gonna check his name because I gotta say it right. Emilio Ramirez.
Emilio, what a really great guy. These guys have been putting in a lot of work. Emilio and Craig are teammates with the A+ Performance bikes. They've been working on those bikes all year long and making huge strides in their program.
Looks like Arnie's trying to go do some work right now, Diana. He's starting to close up on Sam Guerin.
Like I said, don't count that shim out. We see debris on the course. It looks like maybe a part of a fairing just fell off one of the bikes. We don't know, but we will find out. Hopefully we can get that cleared up.
Saddlebag lid for sure was what that was. And these things pull so much RPMs and they put so much torque together. These guys kind of beat themselves apart once in a while.
These bikes, I mean, we built them to just be as light as possible, but sometimes it might not be the most durable.
The saddlebag's popping off, guys. I mean, hey, tighten these corners. I mean, look how low they're getting to the ground. I mean, that's incredible to see a 500-600-pound machine getting that low to the ground in these corners.
You know, one of the things everyone saw, the saddlebags will hit. No, it's the primary that's actually the biggest Achilles heel on them. The clutches is down there. Speaking of clutches, the gang from Barnett's here, so we're good with that. But they've got them dialed in. The suspension's been raised, the brakes improved, and this is a swarm of riders. Look at the number 951. It's the all-white bike. Normally it's got zebra prints and leopard stripes on it, but that, coming from the back row, is putting in work, and that's Clay Braun.
Yeah, this wouldn't be the first time that Clay missed qualifying, starts from the back row, and ends up on the podium. That just seems to be the way he likes to roll the weekend. So he's making big moves through this pack, mid-pack here.
Worked with the guys from Alloy Art down there. Robbie Lane looks after him. A bunch of the other guys. Jason Runlet puts in a lot of hard work on that bike. That guy's taken the bike apart and he's rebuilt it at these races a couple times this year.
Like I said, he's always the hardest working guy out in the pits.
Well, you get back up into the highest reaches of this facility and start to wind your way back down off the hillside, and these riders are seeing that they're starting to run down on time right now. These races aren't 200 miles long. They're a quick one, and Sam Guerin from Canada comes through. Arnie Wells tucked in behind him.
Yeah, this shot here really shows you the elevation. It comes down into this back section that's really, really fast around turn 8 and turn 9. There's a lot of speed to be had out there. It's just a matter of who dares hold it wide open for the longest.
You know what really comes down at this point when there's so much time in between some of these racers is that they're just waiting for a mistake to be made. They can capitalize. If you can make a third to a first place jump, I mean, what could happen to 1 and 2? So be on the lookout for one of these racers to be able to just capitalize on a mistake made.
Clay Braun's capitalizing right now on riders that are getting in his way. He's starting to slice and dice his way up through this pack. We see Guerin, Arnie Wells, Gunnar Olette up into the number 3 spot. Danny Spina in 4th. Steve Chamberlain in 5th, and Craig Braymiller runs in 6th.
Yeah, you know, some of the familiar favorites out front, Sam Guerin, Arnie Wells, Gunnar Olette. I mean, you know, Gunnar being our points leader, I think he's going to want to try and still catch up to Arnie, make sure he can protect that points lead and go home with the championship at the end of the day.
Yeah, you definitely want to make sure that you don't throw it away here. It's a long series. We started all the way back in May, the beginning of May in Pittsburgh. We made the trip to Blackhawks. We were down in Daytona. Now we find ourselves out here at this beautiful, picturesque, historic race facility.
Yeah, this track has a lot of history, you know, like we saw from Don earlier. He put in a lot of laps around here. It's a really cool track, a unique layout. The racing surface is, you know, newly redone, so it's the riders are just getting used to this new redone asphalt, so kind of, you know, a little bit tricky. We see that saddlebag still sitting in that corner there. The riders are going to have to dodge that for the remaining of the race.
It's Danny Spina in the number 4 spot, and he's trying to go to work on Gunnar Olette. And Gunnar in the number 3 spot comes all the way from Mass. He rides the Trask Turbo Road Glide. He has had the points lead the majority of the year. He had a little bit of a tough break in the rain. I think that was when Clay Braun really showed that he's in motocross they call him a mudder. In this stuff, he's a rain rider.
Yeah, you know, it's funny. I was in that race with these guys, and, you know, Clay ran around the pits telling us all to take it easy in the rain, and then he went out and just checked out on us. I don't know if that was part of his tactics or what.
These guys are always working the mind game, huh?
He was playing chess, not checkers, okay?
Yeah, Clay's on another level. He may look like a, you know, a party having kid, but he's smart.
Oh no, he knows what he's doing. He's a barber by trade, and he one of these California guys comes out of the Riverside area, so not that far away from here, but he's made the big drive to Pittsburgh and all the other destinations. So he's somebody that he likes to get down when he's out there.
Yeah, you know, he's in his home state. I know he was really hoping to be able to put it on top of the box today, so hopefully we can see him make up some serious time and get up there.
BRL round number 5. This is our championship round, and this is the Metzler Pro Stock Bagger class. One of our biggest classes out there. We have some really talented individuals, and here's Gunnar right now. You start to see the machine wiggle. That's the tires at this point. They're getting a little hot. It's a 62, 63 degree days. But when you're backing these big machines in, they start to move around a little bit.
They do, and it's just something on these bikes that you just have to start to get used to. I mean, you put a 600-pound motorcycle on these slicks. Oh, we have a change in the lead. Arnie Wells has taken over Sam Guerin for the top spot. Arnie is putting in the work. I don't know if maybe Sam had a mishap or if Arnie is just getting aggressive out there.
Arnie knows it's the last race of the year, and you want to go into Christmas, Thanksgiving, the whole holiday season, and the resume season's starting to come up. You want to send it out. How'd you do in your last race? Wire to wire. So right now, we got to get that second call up because we want to keep the day moving smoothly. Second call. All right, white flag's out, it appears. White flag's out. We're going to see how this one works itself out. White flag is out. So it appears that Arnie Wells has taken over the lead spot on that Suburban Harley Davidson Sly Fox ride in the full tuck position. In behind him, Sam Guerin made they shipped his bike from Canada down here. They didn't even trailer it. They shipped it right to Alloy Yard, picked it up, brought it in a U-Haul truck. Now Sam's looking for maybe an inside line. Arnie was in the same spot in Daytona a short time ago. He lost the lead on the last lap only to take it back. Let's see if Sam can retaliate.
This is the white lap.
Here's the checkered flag, big drag race.
Here it is.
Arnie Wells takes the win over Sam Guerin in the fist pump.
The great battle all the way down to the line, but congratulations to Arnie Wells and the Sly Fox Performance Suburban Motors motorcycle.
Well, there's still more racing to go out there, and you see them getting some high fives together.
You see just how much time those front two had separated themselves from the rest of the pack, but here comes third place. Gunnar Olette on the Trask Performance bike in third, Danny Spina coming in fourth.
So those guys put on a heck of a good race too, and that was the top 4 in this class as we keep our eye out on the back straight. Let's see who comes across the line in the number 5 position. Arnie Wells in that stand-up, relax. I got to think that he is really just enjoying this, kind of letting it sink in, if you will.
Yeah, I mean, I'm sure I know, how Arnie's feeling. He's out there fist pumping to the crowd. He's just on cloud 9 right now. That is the way he wanted to finish off his season. He had a few struggles early in the year at Pittsburgh, but that's a great way to finish his year.
Yeah, he did a fantastic job out there. Got to give a big shout out too to Sam Guerin making the big trip down here. Rides a BMW, like a super sport bike or super stock up in Canada, but down here he throws around the big bagger. Had the lead, had the great start, but Arnie put in some work. Here's the top 10 rundown. It was not quite correct. I know that doesn't exactly reflect how this went. It was Arnie Wells up front, Guerin in second, Gunnar in third, Danny Spina in fourth, not Steve Chamberlain. Craig Braymiller and the rest of the guys put in a great ride out there as well, but it was all the number 1 machine. He's going to have to probably change his number, but man, he put in some good work out there. Let's go back and do a little bit of a replay here. Let's see on this start how it worked. Gunnar got that big jump off the line, and you see that it was Arnie Wells. And Arnie did not get a good start in Daytona, so he's been working on it. No big wheelie or nothing. Was able to get in there and make it work, and then the swarm of guys coming to push up behind.
Yeah, there was a great battle mid-pack all race long. 4, 5, 6 guys all battling for position all race long there in the mid-pack.
You see this beautiful Willow Springs Raceway as these riders made their way around here. 6 exciting laps. This is the Metzler Pro Stock class. These guys have done an amazing job. You see them coming down that front straight. Danny Spina was trying to run down that big turbo of the Trask machine, and man, you're going to need something extra in the tank if you want to run down one of those turbos.
Those Trask bikes are extremely fast down these long straightaways. I know from experience. I've tried to chase them down.
This was the first time we saw Arnie make that move and get around Sam, and he was able to hold off. And this is going to be good. I tell you what, let's take a commercial break, and when we come back, we're going to have the podium in the Metzler Pro Stock Bagger class. And let's look at the spokes. NAM's Racing, Drag Specialties, Icon. And the Bagger Racing League, Drag Specialties, Battle of the Baggers. We're going to have an opportunity to go down to the podium. And as they get down there, Diana Dahlgren all ready to meet them. And they'll get up on the podium here in just a moment.
All right. Looks like they're getting everybody rounded up down there in the podium. Diana's got Gunner there. He's our third place finisher on that Trask Performance motorcycle. Going to accept his third place trophy there. Let's throw it down to Diana.
Congratulations, third place finish here at Willow Springs Raceway. Congratulations, Gunnar Olette. Walk us through that race.
Oh, it was good. We kind of got a hiccup on the start. I had to start from pit lane and then trying to go through the crowds and everything, trying to catch up with Sam and Artie, and it was pushing, but it was good. It was
successful and clean race, right? And bringing it home at the top of the box for the final season race.
Yeah, it was really good. I got to thank the boys from Trask, Nick, Brian, Moots, everybody back home from Trask Performance that's making this happen, and everybody buying our products to get us here. I can't believe it. I'm here right now.
Well, congratulations, Gunnar Olette, our third place finisher here at the final race of Willow Springs Raceway. Next up, guys, I'm going to let you guys take it away because we're going to get Sam up here next.
Sam Guerin will be handling the podium. The sight lap's already going on for the next race. I'm sure Gunnar, he's going to be battling in that championship. I think he took home the one plate.
Yeah, I think once they get done tallying all the points, I think Gunnar's going to take home that number one plate on the year. He had a really great season. And this guy, too, Sam Guerin, on the original Garage Motorbike, also a great season.
Let's go back down to Diana and Sam Guerin.
Our second place finisher here, Samuel Guerin. Congratulations. You shipped the bike. You made it all the way from Canada, and you were running such an amazing race. Second to last lap, you got passed by our Arnie Wells, but it was still an amazing race.
Yes, thank you very much. It was awesome to lead all the race. Unfortunately, I caught like a mischief after the front straight, so Arnie could get the first position. Tried to get the momentum to get back before him on the straight, but his engine was a little bit stronger, so I couldn't make the pass even with the draft. So it's a bummer. It would have been nice to win this year, but I'm pretty happy about it. So thank you very much to NTC, Original Garage, Primo, Harley Davidson, Silver Wax, Legend Suspension, and Bridgestone tires were hooking up very good all weekend.
Congratulations, Samuel Guerin. Guys, take it away. We'll get back here for first place in a minute.
Thanks a lot, Diana. I know we're getting some stuff down there. We also had the guys that came in from their sighting lap already. So we're keeping things rocking and rolling this weekend.
Yeah, things are happening. We got the next class is setting up on the grid right now. Let's jump down to Arnie Wells real fast for his first place podium speech.
And congratulations, our first place finisher here at the Willow Springs Raceway, Arnie Wells. Incredible race, the second to last wrap. Arnie, you wrapped it up, clean pass, capitalized on that miss shift.
Yeah, his back tire slid a little bit in turn one and definitely took advantage of it.
I mean, we were talking yesterday and you were saying, God, I want to get on top of the box so bad. You were fifth in points and now here you are. You've won this race.
Yeah, stoked on it.
He's stoked on it, guys. Arnie Wells, give it up for Arnie Wells, everybody out there in the crowd. Rob, Tony, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Diana. They're down there and get the podium shots and all the goodness, but we got the next race on the line, and let's look at this craziness. They're checking them. We got
Gilbert Condy, Corey Cowan, Devin McLaughlin on the front row, the Andrews Big Twin class. Rob Parker, Shredder Bob, Lenny Howard, Josh Nichols, second row, and they are off. Heading into turn one.
How about that whole shot from the second row? It looked like that was Lenny Howard possibly jumping out front. We've got some beautiful big twins out there, the Icon Lightweight twins. And, of course, the gangs in the DP Brakes FS Cup. That went amazing.
Yeah, look at these guys. Everybody being aggressive into turn two there. Nobody wasting any time to gain position there. Big pack going up the hill for the first time. These guys got to take it easy. This is the first lap. You know, you can't win it on the first lap, but you can definitely throw it away here. So as they start heading it up the hill into turn 3, there's a real rough patch. The riders were complaining about a rough patch in turn 3. You can kind of see there on the screen.
You know, you talk about what they're having to deal with out there. Now, you have people that are taking your race line. They're in your spot that you have to move over a little bit. And we've heard these guys in practice, they do a lot of searching around out there looking for that good line. And I think these guys up in the front have maybe found that space.
Well, and not, you know, that's the difference in qualifying day and race day. Qualifying, you're just trying to find the fast line. Race day, if a guy's in your line, you got to just find your way around him.
You know, you talk about finding your way around him. Corey Cowan on the Alloy Art bike goes out front. Last year's ATU #1 plate. He comes from Salt Lake City. He's got to live almost by you.
Yeah, me and Corey are, you know, practically neighbors. I mean, he comes out of Salt Lake, done a lot of local races. I mean, and he is always fast on that Alloy Art Pan America.
Puts in the hard work. That bike about as you got tradition with Harley, then you got technology, and the Pan American is all technology. Big twins, FTRs. Shredder Bob found some motor out there on that big twin.
Yeah, he did. He's motoring down the front stretch into turn 1. He's putting in the laps.
Our folks from Newcastle Harley-Davidson providing today's lone high drone shot. We've got the high in the sky eye. Diana, there goes Corey Cowan, but look at this battle right now that's shaping up. In the mix, and really starting to mix it up. Who are you seeing, Diana?
I'm seeing Lenny Howard. I'm seeing Corey Cowan. We got Gilbert Condi. I mean, they are putting it down. These guys are absolutely insane.
FTRs, big twins, Dynas, Softails. Tony, if you were building a big twin, which way would you go?
Big twin, I think I definitely have to go with the new Milwaukee 8-powered Softail motors. I think it's got a lot of horsepower. It's very lightweight, very nimble. If I'm going big twin, that's where I'm going.
I tell you what, these guys right now, they're starting to settle into the pace, and they see that FTR. This guy had the pole position, Gilbert Conda. Now, where's he come out of? You know much about him?
You know what? I don't. I think it's one of the first times Gilbert's been racing with us here in the BRL, but he's really putting in some fast laps here early in this race.
Another rider, keep your eye on Lenny Howard and Robert Parker. Now, Robert Parker's in 4th, but he's in the big twin class. I got to think right now that Robert Parker's out there holding down the #1 spot.
He's probably in the top spot for the big twin category. This is a mixed group. We got 3 different classes out there at the same time. So Corey Cowan checking out on the field here on his Pan America. And then we got a tight battle here coming down the front stretch.
The Alloy Art crew down there putting in some work, and you see them starting to spread out. They're looking for that clean air. The draft, though, on this kind of big, long straight, you need that draft.
It is definitely, you got to take every little advantage that you can. So if you can tuck in behind somebody and reduce that air drag, you got to do what you got to do to catch up.
Did you guys just catch the Robert Parker made the pass on Lenny Howard going into the 3rd place position? Clean pass there, and that's going to put the points leader in the 3rd position. He's going to be catching up for 2nd now.
I tell you what, he's going for 2nd overall, but he's in the points lead right now and looking to pull it away. Corey Cowan, Gilbert Conda, an FTR and a Pan America run 1 and 2.
And it's really respectful what Robert Parker's doing here, running on that big twin, because I mean that bike just is not got the technology that the FTR and Pan America do. So huge race for Robert Parker.
Yeah, doing a great job. Lenny Howard putting in work. Anthony Bagman, now that's a lightweight bike, but he's on a Buell. He comes all the way from Gingerman Raceway in Michigan, so he made the big drive out here. He's currently 5th overall. Devin McLaughlin in the #6 spot in behind him.
Yeah, we're settling into the second half of the race here as these guys, you know, there really isn't a lot of time to settle into these races. You know, being 6-lap sprints, there's no time to just kind of take it easy. You got to be aggressive all 6 laps.
Yeah, it's pretty insane to watch how much Robert Parker is making up time here. He's coming around this final turn here, and this is absolutely, I mean, it's truly incredible to watch how quickly he can come up on someone's back fender.
Yeah, these guys are closing quickly on each other, the closing speed. There goes the FTR of Gilbert Condi. In behind him is Robert Parker. Then we got Anthony Bangma that's starting to make some moves up there, and Bangma jumps up in to the #4 overall spot, but he's on an Icon lightweight bike.
Yeah, Bangman making a big pass down the front stretch here over Lenny Howard.
Yeah, you know, Tony, you are a rider. You can tell us what is going through Lenny Howard's head right now. He was in the 3rd place position, and he's already been passed now twice. What is happening? Is he getting tired on these 6-lap sprints?
Yeah, I think if I were Lenny, I don't know if he's maybe dealing with a little fatigue or if he had a mishap or what, but he's got to learn how to control his breathing, settle down, get back into race pace, and just try and start working his way back forward.
Well, these riders are settled in. Now they're going to have to go and put that final sprint. And you know this, you don't want to finish the last race thinking, only if I could have or should have or would have. This is where guys tend to kind of really lay it on the line.
Yeah, I mean, everybody wants to finish the season on a high note. They want to go home with a trophy. They want to feel good about their season and how they ended it, and it just gives them a whole lot of, drive to push through the offseason and get ready for next season.
Yeah, you talk about next year, there's going to be some exciting news coming from the BRL. We're not going to ruin today's championship with it, but look for stuff coming. The schedule, a brand new class, I understand, and there's going to be a couple of other adjustments too. That's really going to help foster people to come in to Harley-Davidson and Indian road racing.
Yeah, that's some of the stuff that we're really excited about. We want to get more riders out here, more racers lining up on our grid. So exciting news coming later in the year from the BRL.
We got to check on this score right now. We got some racing shaping up, and Bangma is starting to close up on Robert Parker. Now Parker in the big twin class, Bangma in the Icon lightweight twins class. The gang from Andrews, they're awful proud of these big twins. All the cams they put out there, and they're making good power.
Yeah, for sure. Bangma, coming up on that Buell, that's a very track-worthy motorcycle up against a big, heavy, big twin there, Robert Parker. So Robert's going to have to really start putting in some laps here because Bangma is just really going to start showing him a front wheel here soon.
I got to think Parker doesn't want to throw it away. The championship is his to take, and I got to think that he wants to adorn that bike with the #1 plate next year.
Yeah, definitely. That's when you start talking about racecraft. Does Robert know the position he's in? If he throws the race away, he may hurt his championship opportunity. So something that he's got to be dealing with in the back of his mind while staying 100% focused on his line and what's right in front of him at the same time.
So Corey Cowan, Gilbert Condi, Robert Parker, big twin, Bangma in the Icon lightweight twin, Lenny Howard in 5th, and Cody Gilmore, also one of the Icon lightweight bikes riding for Suburban.
Yeah, Cody having a good race here, riding that XR 1200. He's looking to make a few moves here.
Boy, it's a good-looking FTR out there ridden by Gilbert Condi.
Looks like we got the white flag out. Corey Cowan just took the white flag last lap. Corey Cowan has built up a pretty good-sized lead. And
a pretty good-sized lead, and all he has to do is keep it clean this last lap. A few more turns to go, and he's your Willow Springs winner for 2023.
Corey Cowan is putting in some solid work. Parker now Bangma in behind him. They put Bert Bledsoe a lap down.
Yeah, Parker still holding down 3rd place. Bangma looks like he might have dropped a couple of positions. Don't know if he might have had a mistake or a missed shift or something, but he's dropped back to 6th place now.
Now let's talk about it, guys. Robert Parker is your career points leader in this class. If he takes a 3rd place finish right now, is he going to be the 2023 champion?
Of the big twins class, he's actually leading that group right now. This is the combined group out there right now. So he's 3rd overall, and we had a rider off the track.
Oh, no.
We don't know who it was, but we did see it was definitely one of the big twins bike that was off the track.
Definitely. Looks like he's trying to enter the track, how to do it safely, but get back in there without getting in anybody's way and messing up their race.
And what an insane moment to have running off the track at over 100 miles an hour. I mean, what's that like?
Unfortunately, I've had the chance to do that a couple of times, and it's real tight. I mean, you got to just hold on, keep it on 2 wheels. It's loose. You get out in the dirt.
And here comes the checkered flag.
We got Corey Cowan coming around the last corner down the front straight, going to take the checkers.
On that alloy yard Pan American, and the checkered flag waves for Corey Cowan, Salt Lake City.
Bringing it home for Utah.
Oh, yeah, give him the jazz out there, right?
There we go, yeah.
All right. Well, Corey Cowan, nice work. Gilbert Conda, last time we saw him, he checked in the #2 spot, and that's where he's going to finish.
It's a great race for Gilbert. Looks like we got Robert Parker coming in 3rd. That's going to put the championship, I believe, in his hands on this season.
Not only that, but he gets to pick up his first belt of 2023. He's going to be through the moon about that one.
Yeah, he'll be real excited.
Tell you what, these cool-down laps, Diana, these are something that are pretty unique right now, and we're watching them just kind of settle in.
Yeah, they got to take in the emotion, man. They've been racing for a 6-lap sprint. A lot of adrenaline's coming through. Now it's the moment to Gotta let my bike cool down. I gotta let these tires cool down. I gotta let my nerves cool down, Tony. What is it like coming through this last cool down lap? Is it excitement? Is it defeat? Is it, I mean, I guess it really depends on where you cross the finish line, right?
Yeah, it definitely depends on how your race went. But, I mean, the adrenaline is through the roof. I mean, I know for me the adrenaline is just running for a couple of hours after coming off track. So if you had a good race, you're real excited on this cool down lap.
Look at this swarm of riders. Everybody's such a action-packed event right now. Guys coming in and out, and some are on their cool-down laps. Some are still battling for a position. We're going to watch these riders now. The replay, obviously, the Corey Cowan move right there was definitely a deciding factor in this replay thing. He kind of showed everybody he was gone. Robert Parker there holding off Tony Bangman. You know Tony, he likes to put in the work.
Yeah, he's an experienced road race guy on that field. He's put in a lot of laps, and he tried to chip away at Robert Parker, but just couldn't make it happen. Robert held him off.
Yes, he did. And as Corey came down and took the double checkered flags, he had to really have that sigh of relief. Now, he's got some more racing to do today, but good to see him out there in action.
Yeah, great race for Corey. He really just got aggressive early, got the whole shot, and just checked out from the rest of the group.
I'll tell you what, that was a great battle. We're going to go down to the podium in just a moment. Let's take a break and find out how this thing shaped up.
Trice Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components, all made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask. Drag Specialties Bagger Racing League, loaded with sponsors, and a lot of exciting people have made their way out here, and the podium is going to be exciting. You see the hugs being handed out. Clay Youngblood down there, he's pretty pumped as well to kind of welcome the crew. Look at Ron there, a lot of high fives, a lot of excitement and joy. Clay Braun knows that he had a good time, but he's going to probably come back in that Bagger GP class, I got to think.
Yeah, he'll want to jump out there and get a few more laps in the Bagger GP class.
Coming up is going to be the sidecar class, and obviously we're going to get the podium celebrations handled.
You know, this is the time that all these racers race for. The high fives, the congratulations down there, in front of the podium. These guys are coming off the ultimate high. This is all their hard work, dedication, commitment that they put in to get out here, put themselves on top of the box. This is really what they ride for.
Robert Parker down there has got to be excited knowing that he just picked up the championship in his class. I believe that Robert Bangma was able to bring home the championship in the Icon Lightweight Twin, and I think that unfortunately, the FS Cup, it's going to go to our guy in Milwaukee right now. We miss him. I think that it was still Benny Carlson that held on to the points lead. We're going to check all that. That's why we haven't done that yet. We got that 30-minute window in case there's any.
Sure. Yeah, all unofficial results here. All the numbers still trickling in, counting numbers, getting everything accounted for, making sure we get everything squared away.
There's a rider coming back in here. Tough break here, but looks like he's safe and coming back just fine. So that's going to be good.
Yeah, as we're getting ready for the first podium speeches here. This shot on screen, I mean, this screen here that really shows you a lot of the elevation coming down out of turn 4, 5, 6, and really gives you an idea what kind of elevation is out there. From, sometimes sitting down here on pit lane, it looks a little flat, but when you're out on track, there's a lot of elevation in this track.
Oh, what are we looking at here? It looks like we had a little bit of that Sly Fox drifter cross that was going on. First time it's ever been done. Now, Longhorn 301, a good buddy of ours, said, hey, to Alex, I got this idea, not a stunt show, a stunt race. They were doing it for times, and the guy from Sly Fox brought out the scoring and timing. They had digital scoring, and, man, these guys were making their way in a very tight, confined area at a really high rate of speed.
Yeah, I think this might be one of the next evolutions of the stunt riding is adding in a little bit of a race mix to it. These guys drifting around cones, a little reminiscent of like rodeo barrel racing almost. But these guys are just out here putting on a great show for our fans. These guys are not afraid to just send it, throw their bikes, just abusing them.
All right. Look at them down there. Excitement, joy. Getting the bikes on the race stands. They'll get these pictures. Robert Parker kind of soaking it all in, I think. And obviously, he's in the big twins class. Diana will have a chance to talk to these top athletes here on some of the FTRs and the Pan Americans. Tell you what, she's down there with one of the faster guys right now. I got a feeling that was the 108 machine. Let's go down to Diana Dahlgren.
Congratulations to our DP Brakes FS Cup winner, Gilbert Connie. How was it out there? An absolute clean race, putting down the fastest laps.
Oh, that's awesome. I always like improvement. It's just a methodical thing. Every time you go out there going faster, learning. Like if I wasn't trying to go faster, I would just sit home and watch it on TV. But I'm enjoying it. It was a great track. They just redid it, and everything is great. I hit something in turn 8, second to last lap. There was a rock or something. I was like, oh, my room's been blown. But anyway, it wasn't. And I just kept going, head down, throttle back. It was all happening. It was going down.
A little bit of adversity didn't affect you at all. Our winner here at Willow Springs FS Cup for DP Brakes. Congratulations, and it's your turn to get on top of the box. Guys, back up to you we're going to wait for our next set of guys. Get some pics.
All right, we're just waiting here. They're getting everybody sorted out there. It's a little getting everybody sorted out. We have 3 classes out on track, so getting all the podium winners kind of sorted out down there. We'll give them just a couple more minutes to get the trophies handed out, and we'll jump back down to Diana here in just a few moments.
Yeah, obviously she's down there doing a great job making sure everybody knows what's going on. You can see the Willow Springs hideaway up there, if you will, and a lot of great action.
Yeah, I mean, the one of the great things about this track is what we're seeing on track here. They got grandstands at the top of the hill really some great viewing from the top of the hill. You can see a lot of action sitting up there in the Willow Springs hideout.
You know, the tumbleweeds that come down here are wild, but no trees in the way, so that's kind of a good thing.
Yeah, you can really see a lot of this racetrack. It's unique. You know, some of these road race courses that we go to, you can only see a little bit of what's right in front of you, but this track here, there's no trees. It's just nothing but sagebrush and sand out here, so you can really see a lot of the action all the way around this track.
A lot of good action, a lot of good drama, if you will. People are pumped with the win, disappointed with the finish. It's going to be something you have to stew on all year long.
Yeah, but that's racing, right? I mean, we can't all win, so we all go out there, we line up, and you got to put your best foot forward and try and, you know, put yourself on the box. And if not, you go back to the drawing board and you figure out what you need to do to get faster.
I'll tell you what, while we get this sorted out down there, I know that we've got some stuff in the can. Let's figure this out so that we can get the podium underway. Gang, we're going to take one more commercial break, and when we...
It's in our Icon Lightweight class. We have our second place finisher here at Willow Springs, Cody Gilmore, absolutely killing those 6 fast laps. Clean race out there.
Yeah, it was a good time out there. I had a decent start, but it wasn't the best. But, yeah, I was able to get by a few guys there at the beginning and put in some good laps at the end. I ran my fastest laps in that race of the whole weekend. And, yeah, I was feeling good. I was catching first place there the last 2 laps. And I think if I had a couple more laps, I could have maybe got a little bit closer. But, yeah, it was a good time out there. I just want to thank the whole Suburban Motors crew. They've been so awesome this year to support me. And last year, my first year road racing and getting to do this. And next year, it looks like we'll be in the Beggar Pro Stock class on Suburban bike. So I'm looking forward to that, and should be a good time.
Well, here is the trophy. You earned the tin. Second place finisher, Cody Gilmore, taking it down here at the Willow Springs Raceway. Next up, we have our first place finisher, and we're going to get him over here. But, guys, you're going to have to take it away for another minute. I'm sorry about that.
Anthony Bagma's making his way up there. He's not going to hold back. He wants to come up there and pick up that belt.
I'm sure he'll have a lot to say out there. He had a great race, you know, put in a lot of fast laps, was charging hard there at the end. And it'll be exciting to see what he has to say about his race.
Yeah, it's always something that you want to kind of hear what they were thinking when you're all done, like what was going through their mind. Sometimes they leave you disappointed, going, I was just riding, and other times they tell you a big hidden secret.
Yeah, here we are. Diana, back down.
And your winner of the Icon Lightweight class, Anthony Bangma. Congratulations, an absolutely insane race. You got out first, and you stayed there.
Yeah, first time at this track, so we're still kind of learning where to go out here. Just ran a conservative race, tried to, you know, keep it on 2 wheels, and did what we need to do.
The West Coast was good for you here today, and you're walking away with the belt.
Yeah, it's been great. I got to thank Brony's Furniture from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Bison Leathers for the leathers and gloves, and Rhino Power Sports Supplements.
Look at that. Let's show him the leather, man. That's pretty tore up there. So your leather.
Times, and it's still holding up great.
Holding up great. Well, congratulations again, Anthony Bangma, your #1 finisher for Icon Lightweight. All right, guys, I'm going to get the final podium people of today. Just give me a couple minutes. We got some chaos happening here in the podium. No big deal. But, guys, back up to you. I'll let you know when I'm ready.
Thanks a lot, Diana. She's down there keeping it. She's like a traffic cop, I think, right now.
Yeah, it's chaotic down there. There's a lot of people down there crowding into the podium circle, just getting it a little bit crazy. They're trying to get all the riders and their bikes sorted out down there. So we'll give them a couple of minutes, get sorted out. We'll figure this out.
Yeah, we always trying to figure it out. You know, we're an organization that does some things that are a little bit untraditional, if you will, and I think coming up with this whole Indian versus Harley was that. But we've got some great folks that are helping us out that make sure all these things happen on a kind of a time schedule, if you will. They get down and we got the sidecars coming up, and we're going to have somebody that joins us that knows a lot about sidecars. So you're going to be real excited to hear his insights. We got F1s, F2s. We got some vintage cars out there, and, you know, the passenger, the rider all doing some crazy things. So I'm really excited for you folks at home to have your, because it was my first chance to see those guys in the qualifying session yesterday.
Yeah, these sidecars are crazy. You know, these, you know, you got your driver, the one controlling the motorcycle, and you got the guy hanging off the side trying to control the weight from side to side, leaning left, leaning right, going into whatever corners. It's really exciting to see. These guys are crazy.
Well, I know that we got some podium stuff to do. Robert Parker and the rest of the gang's down there getting ready to pick up some awards. And as they get them set up, I see the the crew's kind of down there figuring a couple more things out, getting it all dialed in.
Yeah, a lot of race crews, a lot of people down there congratulating all these riders and trying to get sorted out down there. Still a little bit of confusion going on, but they're working through it.
Well, it looks like Robert Parker is getting ready to say hi to the world. Robert's in the big twin class. He's going to don his hat, make sure that he looks official podium ready down there. You know,
got to thank the sponsors. You got to have that sponsor hat on. Get prepared for your podium speech. That's all part of the game down there in the podium.
He's two-hatting it right now, so he's got the dual hats on and made the big drive. I believe he originally came from Sylvania, Ohio. Now he lives just across the line in Illinois. Spends a lot of time at Blackhawk, and they picked him up on the way out here. They kind of swung through there, and I'm talking about the guys from A-Plus Cycles, and they picked him up. And he's got some help down there getting the race stand in the what do you call it, the puck or the chuck?
Oh, I call it a bike stand.
Well, I'm talking the.
Oh yeah, the spool. I call it a spool.
Okay,
yeah,
spool.
Yeah.
All right. Well,
so
you know,
they're getting
those things.
Big twin class sorted out down there for the podium. That was a 3-class race, so it's really crowded down there right now.
Yeah, FS Cup and the big twins, and of course the Icon Lightweight twins. We had a chance to talk to Tony and the rest of the crew, and here they all come into view. Now the guys in this class here obviously doing some fantastic work. They get the bikes set up, lined up. They even they're even helping each other. That's the thing with these guys.
That's the great thing about racing is everybody, when they come off track, they're all best friends. They want to help each other out. They'll do anything they can to help out their fellow racer.
One of the hardest things about putting a bike on the race stand is getting it turned. They turn about 2 inches each direction. The steering's very short on them. You got to do like a 27-point turn just to get them kind of wiggled in there.
Yeah, and you got to remember, these aren't your traditional sport bikes. These aren't 250-pound motorcycles. These things are 600, 650 pounds. So it takes a little muscle to move these things around down there.
Well, they do it well. There's some muscle guys here. I saw some big boys roaming around down there earlier, and you can see just on the camera here, that's how deep the podium is with the fans that are down there checking out. That's why some of the getting through the crowd, everybody's kind of gathering around, being a big part of the action. I tell you what, I think it's time they're ready to go back down to Diana and find out what's going on.
Congratulations to our Andrew Big Twins third place finisher, Devin McLaughlin. Congratulations. You get the tin cup here. How was your race today?
I suck at starts.
You suck at starts. You weren't able to capitalize off of that, but here you are still on top of the box.
Just wanted to send it. Thank you all for coming out.
Devin is clearly a man of many words. Everyone give Devin a big round of applause. I'm going to have you go on to the third place box, sir. Second off, we have Lenny Howard. Second place finisher here, Lenny Howard. Congratulations. What an amazing race.
Thank you for everything, BRL. I was so nervous for this one.
Tell us about it. Why were you nervous?
This one meant a lot to me. I'm riding my best friend's bike. He ended up passing away, and I'm still keeping his legacy going. But, yeah, I have so much support out here, and I want to thank everybody, dude, that came out here and supported me.
You're going to make me cry. What's your friend's name? Tell us your friend.
His name was Ian. He raced in BRL too and stuff, and he was part of all of our family and stuff too. So it's a lot to take in. It is, and I'm super excited.
Tell us about all the people that came out and supported you.
Oh my God, I have my family. Thank you to my family, Shifter crew, big time. My buddy Moose, Moose Crafts. Gosh, dude, so many people. Like, if I'm missing anybody, I'm sorry, but thank you guys so much for sure.
Okay, well, second place, your Lenny Howard is your second place finisher for Andrew Big Twins. Everybody give it up for Lenny. Keeping it alive for Ian. Andrew Big Twins, the winner. He takes home the belt here at Willow Springs. Come on over, Robert Parker. Congratulations. You take the belt and you take the glory here at Willow Springs Raceway. Congratulations. What an insane race you had.
It was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. I was trying to get out front early. Lenny got quite the hole shot there. I was able to follow him for the first lap, get around him in the second lap, and it was a blast. It was an absolute blast out there.
Is there anyone here that you would like to thank for bringing you out here and having a killer race?
First and foremost, my wife, Nicole. She's been my crew chief. She's been supporting me through all of this. This is absolutely fantastic. Really happy to have her out here. Scott from A+ Performance, he dragged my bike out here for me. I was able to fly in, which was fantastic. Geezer Engineering for the new front end. S&S Cycles and 2 Boss Performance for the absolute rocket ship of a motor that's in there. Outcast Culture, Screamin' Speed and Fab. Thank you to everyone who was part of this program. Thanks to the BRL for putting this event on, and thank you to the fans for coming out. This is amazing.
And again, your winner for the Andrew Big Twins, Robert Parker, taking home the glory and the belt. All three of you, congratulations, guys. Take it away.
Well, thanks a lot, Diana. Down there, the Drag Specialties Battle of the Bagger podium filled up once again as we've got through the Icon Lightweight class, and I believe that we got through the Big Twins. We'll get the FS Cup, and then we're going to be ready to go sidecar racing.
Sidecar racing.
Now, I want to know a little bit about this crazy sidecar stuff that's coming up, and let's see if we could get our man in here. First of all, you take somebody pretty special to have to talk about what's going on with sidecars, and you seem like a pretty special fella, so tell us a little bit about what we're going to see.
Well, thank you, Robbie. My name's Scott Fabro. I do a little bit of announcing out here. I've also passengered on these sidecars. I know most of the guys out there. I want to thank the BRL Racing League for inviting the Superbikes, two-strokes, and sidecars out. It's making a great show. I hope you guys enjoy what you're going to see.
You know, when we get into the two-strokes and the Superbikes, which will be coming up a little bit later, we're going to see some real classic iron out here. But you don't see anything. Like, the only thing you've ever seen with a sidecar is maybe a Harley-Davidson with one or a Ural with one. You don't see what we're about to see. F1, F2, and some vintage?
Correct. These bikes, they're different types of chassis. They are all custom built. If you look at the number 84 machine right there, the purple machine, Bill Becker is a foremost chassis designer here in Southern California and designs these F2 rigs. F2 rigs, you'll note, have the motor in front. The rider kneels down, the motor is up on their belly. We have one F1 rig out there. That's a team of Euclid and Kowski, Bernard Euclid, Kevin Kowski, on the number 21. That's got a Yamaha R1 crossplane crank in it, and Bernard is a Swiss master fabricator, having built that chassis, and we're going to look for pretty quick times out of the Bernard and Kevin Kowski team.
I'm curious, what's some of the advantages or disadvantages comparing Formula 1 to Formula 2?
You know, that's a good question, Tony. The Formula 2 bikes have a tendency to turn a little bit quicker. You'll note they have a shorter wheelbase. They're good on the short, twisty stuff, get a little twitchy on the high-speed stuff, whereas the rear-engine Formula 1 rigs have slightly longer legs. But now here's a classic battle. You see that Formula 2 rig with Wade Boyd and his passenger, Eric Lindauer. The number 88 machine, Wade is a Isle of Man racer, former Isle of Man racer.
And they race sidecars on the Isle of Man, right?
Indeed they do.
33-mile loop around an island with sidewalks and walls
yeah,
off made out of rocks.
It's terrifying, and you get a lot of air at the Isle of Man. You're airborne. Everyone thinks the Bluff Bridge. On the Isle of Man, you're airborne a whole lot in a whole lot of different places. To watch these sidecars flying through the air at 130, 140 miles an hour, that's not going to happen here at Willow Springs. We hope.
We hope. We'll keep all three wheels on the ground out here.
Diane, have you ever ridden in a sidecar?
I actually have at a flat track race, but it was more of a gag, you know. You know how at the flat out Fridays they come out and they do like your fun lap with your characters. Yeah, I drove in one of their sidecars, but it didn't go too fast. It's not going to be anywhere near what these guys are putting down here today.
You know, you talk about riding a sidecar. Obviously, many of the manufacturers, they used to have those on police cars. So a couple years ago, my daughter's at home. She's about 11 years old. I'm like, come on, go for a ride with me. She goes, I'll go for a ride with you, and Mommy can come too. Went down to Washington, D.C., and bought a Harley-Davidson Ultra with the sidecar attached. The guy's like, well, you can't get that home in your pickup truck. I go, I'm going to ride it. He's like, you ever ride one? I'm like, nope. But I learned real quick, you don't ride them, you drive them.
Correct. It's a whole different riding experience on these machines. And let's go ahead with that field rundown now as they're getting all suited up and about ready to take off on their sighting lap. Starting on the pole on the inside, the fastest guys qualifying are the team of Bernard Euclid and Kevin Kowski. They are former number 1 plate holders in the sidecar racing leagues, and we're going to look for a good show from them on that red, white, and blue machine, the number 21. In the middle of that first row, we've got Wade Boyd and Eric Lindauer on that Formula 2 machine. And I'm really looking forward to seeing if Wade and Eric have been sandbagging in practice and if they have anything for Bernard and Kevin, because they have had some epic battles. So I would keep my eyes on that number 21 and that number 88 machine.
I'm kind of looking down here at the top shop now. Most of the cars seem to have most of the bikes seem to have the car on the left side of them. Then I see some of the older sidecars, they're on the right side. Is it a rider preference, or is there something to technology on that?
That's a good question. It is a little bit of technology. A lot of the older school sidecars were on the right. The more European sidecars now have the rider on the left. And that's a good point, Robbie, because going around turn 9, you're in a right-hand turn. These things pull about 2.5, 3 Gs.
Wow, that's fighter pilot stuff.
And you'll look at a guy like Kowski, who's 6 foot 5 inches tall, and he'll be wrapped over that rear wheel. As you can see them going around there on a right-hander.
And this is just a sighting lap.
This is just a sighting lap. And it's a very, very physical thing to passenger on these. And it's almost like a ballet. You have to have the rider and the monkey, we call them monkeys, or passengers, have to be in synchronization with one another. Another thing that can happen is if you miss a handhold on one of these 3G turns, your arms will pump, your hands will go numb, and your race is pretty much over at that point. So it's practice on these. When you see these guys going through turn 9, you will be astounded how fast they get around that right-hander.
I guess I got to ask you more than kind of anything is what is the size of the displacement, different things like that in them?
That's a good question, Robbie. We've got a variety of machines out there. The vintage machine of Gary McEwen and Wendell, they've got an XS650. That's the yellow machine you see going into turn 8 now with the side hack on the right. That's the only machine out here you'll see with the side hack on the right. And that's the venerable Yamaha XS650 motor.
Now, what about this red, white, and blue Starship up here? That looks to be the most advanced machine, I would have to think.
That machine has many, many, many man-hours of refinement in it. Bernard Euclid is a master craftsman, and that bike's got the Yamaha R1 motor in it, the cross-plane crank. So he's pushing, that motor's got some serious beef to it. You'll also hear how beautiful it sounds coming up the front straightaway.
One of the things I'm interested in, obviously you see the bikes on tire warmers, road racers and things. Are these guys on basically automobile tires? Is that what it is?
That's it exactly. These are the tires you might see out on the streets of Willow, some sporty cars going around right now. You'll see a variety of tires out here, but generally they're using the softer compounds car tires, racing tires.
So they don't really have to worry about putting them on heaters and things like that. It's not quite as imperative as it is for some of these two-wheel bikes.
It is and it isn't, Robbie. Those tires can slide around a lot. When you get up to speed and you're pulling that 2 and 3 Gs, these things are...
Well, you're talking about pulling the Gs and things like that, and they're definitely something that is important for all these riders out there. Now, they're coming back. They had a sighting lap. We're going to line these guys up. We were talking about if they go off the track, they don't need a tool trailer. They need like a car hauler to come get them.
Yeah, we've oftentimes had to tow them in. Okay, am I on broadcast?
Okay, guys, so here we are. After the sighting lap, they run out there, Tony. They come back, and things are kind of dialed in. And these sidecars, what we wanted to do is make sure when we invited them out that we were able to give them a pretty wonderful opportunity. Now, we know a lot of the new track's been paved, and you can see here some of the older surface, and these guys are going to have to use, they don't have to be quite as judicial. These things don't wheelie or loop out or things the way some of these other bikes do.
Well, let's watch this launch and see. We're just about ready to throw the green laundry, and there we go.
Oh, listen to those things roar off the line. Multi-cylinder bikes, first time that BRL has seen sidecars, and we're bringing it to you live from Willow Springs.
And into turn 1 they go. You'll see that passenger hanging way off the left side.
He's hanging, dragging himself around the corner.
And you'll note as this race develops over the 6 laps that there are different types of riding style. You'll watch Kowski move in. Now, right now, they're way over on the rear wheel. But on the left-handers, Kowski likes to drag his rear end. He'll hang off with his butt hanging off. Other guys are shoulder hanger-offers. Like you'll see the yellow sidecar going off. That's Wendell, and he likes to hang off on the shoulder. Your sensation of speed at 120 miles an hour with your eye level about 2 feet off the ground is just astounding.
I got to ask a question here. Now, you mentioned how they're setting up. I'm surprised. The XS650 is hanging on hard.
They're riding hard. That team, they ride with a lot of heart. Wendell and Gary put a lot of heart into it, but we'll start seeing Wade and the number 21 of Euclid and Kowski and the Becker machine. They've got a good show going on right now, but they're going to start opening her up once those tires get a little bit warmer, and we'll start seeing some real speed.
I'm seeing some inside-outside lines starting to work as they set themselves up. They can kind of move over. I think right now the third place spot might be the hottest position to be. You're seeing everything work itself out. Now he's just looking to thread the needle.
Absolutely. Euclid is a great stalker. He's a very calculating driver. He also races cars, vintage automobiles. And Euclid, being a Swiss rider, he is very precise in his strategies. So let's see what develops as they come around. This is one of the fastest parts of the track on that right-hander, in through 8 and 9 right now. And we'll see if Euclid is going to make a strike, and it looks like maybe he has. Here they come up the front straight.
Here they come 3 wide down the front straight. This is exciting opening lap, and it looks like that looks like something Elon Musk would build.
You know, I can't tell you, if you ever get a chance to go down to the paddock and see these things with the bodywork off, the amount of advanced engineering, the craftsmanship of these rides is beautiful. You know, we cover them up with bodywork for aerodynamics, but these are finely crafted machines. And it looks like Boyd might be making a little move now.
Now this is, you say F1, and I have to imagine the red, white, and blue one's F1, but is this an F1 bike as well?
No, Boyd and Lindauer are on a F2 bike. So you'll see right now the Euclid bike, the number 21, the engine is behind the driver, and on the other 2 bikes they're having the ding-dong with right now, the motor is in front of the driver.
They look like they're much longer, so if the motor's in the back, the bike tends, or I shouldn't say bike, are they bikes?
They're rigs.
Rigs. The rigs tend to be a lot longer. Tony, you ever think about maybe you and the missus getting out there, and she'd probably be ready to go?
I don't know if the missus would go off for that. I think, I've spun a lot of laps on 2 wheels. Going out there in one of these sidecars, these guys got to be a little bit, leveled up on the crazy meter.
Oh, yeah, they're there. Larry Coleman, a really good friend of mine, his brother passed away. He's an AMA Hall of Famer in sidecar racing. He was going to join us this weekend, and you and him would have did a great job. The difference is Larry is going to a celebration of life for his brother. We said family first always, but we hope to have not only the sidecars, but you and Larry back at another time to call the action.
I've done a lot of work with Larry Coleman, and he is one of the nicest guys in the world, former sidecar world champion, been involved in the industry forever. And, hey, you guys take a look going into 8 now. This is a really good race. Boyd and Lindauer are not giving up on that number 21 machine, and you'll see that the draft does work. This is actually that you will feel the draft when you're this close in.
I got to think when you're punching a hole that big in the air, even if you're only a couple feet off the ground, and here we go, pass for the lead. Man, these guys are putting in the work, and I have a feeling you were mentioning now the rig in the number 2 spot, he builds these. This is his kind of creation.
Yeah, Bernard is a fabricator by trade. So, whipping up a chassis. He might have started with the Becker chassis, that number 84 that's now kind of a distant third. Bill Becker is well-known F2 and F1 chassis builder. So he may have started with the Becker chassis. I'm not quite sure. But he has surely massaged that machine.
You look at the road race bikes that Tony and the rest of the guys race, adding to the suspension. What type of suspension are on these rigs?
It's relatively simple. It's a swing and arm type of suspension. It's a leading link front end that you're steering with. So the steering is actually pretty responsive. But with that big wide tire in front, we don't have power steering on these. So the driver is working pretty hard to get that thing horsed through, especially the technical stuff up around the turn 3-4 area.
Well, we see a little bit of a I think he's starting to find his way and come back on him here a little bit. He might have let him think he had him, but here comes that brand new F1 machine. Now, when would the modern day, I guess, rig come in? Was it something in the 70s, the 80s, the 90s when they really got this aerodynamic?
It's been developing. Sidecars, Robbie, very, very big in Europe, and on the Isle of Man, at all the big support races over there. So. Yeah, here we go. We've got this ding-dong shaping up. Euclid, like I said, he's a stalker.
So in sidecars, it's called a ding-dong for a pass? I'm learning this, though. All right.
I learned that on the Isle of Man.
Okay.
So, a righteous ding-dong. But,
Right.
yeah,
Okay.
here we go, back and forth. And I'll tell you, Wade is really, with that Lindauer passenger, he is working pretty hard into turn one. And this is where you'll see the advantage of the F2 versus the F1.
Okay, so the F2, the F1, motor in the front, motor in the, you straddle the motor on an F2 and the vintage machines, obviously. Now we look at William, and it's funny. So, when we look at the scoreboard, Gary McEwen. Now, is it the rider that's considered the winner, or the passenger that gets the award?
Everybody's a winner.
Everybody's a
sidecar
winner.
racing.
Okay. You see him now stretched out over the back of this. You mentioned the Isle of Man racing. I can only imagine what these things look like coming through that environment, because they're certainly beautiful to watch out here. Craftsmanship, technology, engineering, and obviously it takes a lot of courage to climb in and let your buddy wring the neck out of these things at 130 miles an hour.
It's a tremendous amount of trust. It really is. And when you get a good passenger driver team, you don't want to. It's like Fred Astaire and Ginger Rogers. You just don't want to separate the team, because it takes so long to learn each other's moves and to become an effective sidecar racing team. Speaking of Isle of Man, Wade Boyd, your man going into 8 now, holding the lead. He's holding off the Uklikowski team. Let's see how that develops, because we've just got a few laps left here, just a couple left. We have another Isle of Man out here, racer. You will be seeing in Superbike. Mark Miller riding the Hypercycle.
Well, it's going to be something that's unique. Now, you're going to be heading down to the podium with Diana Dahlgren. You know these guys personally, right?
Yeah, pretty much.
You're going to go, that guy right there, I know exactly who that is. Get up here for the number 3 spot.
All right, I could do that.
All right, guys, I know you're out there in the paddock. You wonder what's going on. Well, we're doing this television broadcast, and things are really getting heated up, because here comes another slingshot move as they come down the front straight.
This has been a very competitive race. These guys have gone back and forth multiple times all race long, and it's interesting to see where that Formula One car has its advantages over that Formula 2 car. These guys are going back and forth all race long.
Now, we could talk. And I think that the BRL has done something unique in our bagger classes. We have some guys in their 20s. I don't think there's a 20-year-old out there in this group, is there?
We're always looking for new blood. Anyone in the paddock, head on down to turn 1, chat with these guys. They don't bite, and we're always looking for good passengers and drivers. And like I say, there are chassis available out there. If you have any interest in sidecar racing, come on down and talk to these guys. Look at this around turn 2. This, Tony, you were saying, is the advantage of the handling over the twisty stuff of the F2 rig over the F1. The F1 has longer legs on the big fast stuff. The F2 rig has the handling on the twisties.
One of the things that I think people that are seeing this for the first time, and believe me, I've been around the motorcycle world for decades, and this is my first live experience with the sidecars. You mentioned Isle of Man, and we definitely want to try to bring them back. Are there more on the West Coast, the middle of the country, or is it an East Coast kind of thing?
We have a really strong sidecar contingent out here on the West Coast. We do a lot of races here. Sidecars always run. They run all over the United States. A lot of these teams will travel to, you mentioned Ginger Man, out onto the eastern seaboard. I know Bernard and Kevin have traveled all over. They are former #1 national champion plate holders on that number 21 rig.
Well, I'll tell you what, when you're a national plate holder, you definitely got some credibility in the sidecar world. Here they come, another big run down that front straight. And it seems like the F1 car, F1 rig, definitely when they get by, that thing's almost kind of coming by Bonneville Salt Flat style.
Yeah, it's got that Yamaha R1 motor behind it, and it's just very aerodynamic. That long body just cuts through the air, probably a lot better than that Formula 2 car.
I'm a newbie watching sidecar. So if I'm a sidecar, I'm watching this broadcast right now. I see 1 and 2. Are they just going back and forth? On this flat land, we keep on seeing the number 2 Wade Boyd rig going and passing for the number 1 Kevin Kotsky. Am I right? And then they're passing on the backside of the track, and then they're flip-flopping 1 and 2 this entire time, basically.
Well, like I said, Bernard's kind of a stalker, and as you can see, a little distance, Diane, now as they're heading down the backside of the track. Indeed, Bernard has, I believe, coming up through the Omega, he has set sail now. And I don't know what Eric and Boyd have for that number 21 machine, as they have now twisted the throttle and set sail.
Well, with the white flag out, we know this is the final lap of action here, and we're going to keep our eye on these riders and drivers and rigs They're on the back side of the track. Now, what I'm going to have you guys do is I'm going to have you head down to the podium, and you're going to greet these individuals. Once they come through on this sighting lap, you and Diana will go down there. You have a chance to talk to them and kind of wrap it up. But that is one beautiful sidecar rig, and man, I can't wait to see. What's the most you've ever had on the track at one time in, say, the last, I don't know, couple of years? I tell you what, let's hold off on that. Let's let them come down the straightaway. Let's kind of soak it in. It's like one of those Bruce Brown moments in On Any Sunday. Here they come.
Yeah, here
now,
they
we
come.
don't have the heat coming up, but you know they're coming. Double checkered flags. Who's our winner?
Bernard Euclid, Kevin Kowski, once again showing their dominance in the sidecar class. Wade Boyd and Eric Lindauer bringing in that second spot, and not for the lack of trying. Now we're looking for our third place rig coming around down the back straightaway. Last sighting on that was the number 84 team of Bill Becker and Larry Campbell.
You know, you talk about them, and it was great to have them out here. Now, we're going to have you back up here because you know a little bit about these vintage super bikes and two-strokes. Am I right?
Well, damn it. Yes, I can. I'd be happy to. I actually raced this class with my friends Curtis and Mark and Andrew and the rest of the guys. So it'll be fun to be up here calling it with you guys and cheering my friends on.
Man, a lot of great bikes coming up, and that's some unique ones. We got TZ 250s from the guys from Moto Dofo. We got big bore 1000cc plus inline fours. We've got a little bit of everything. And just as we thought the leaders were coming right out of the track, they entered turn number 9, and you see the drag race down the front straight. Who's going to bring it home?
Looks like Becker's got it in hand. He's a very conscientious rider. He set his pace, and here they come for that last podium finish. But you know what? Not giving up the hunt were Roy James and Hannes, the number 104, and that was only a 636 they were riding. So they did a remarkable job keeping up with that 1,000 of Becker.
Does anybody have a Harley Davidson or an Indian motor in one of these rigs that you're aware of?
I would love to see that happen.
They make big torques, and obviously we're able to get some big mile per hours out of them, some of these turbocharged machines. And that vintage machine, I wanted to give him a shout out as they come into view. That XS650 was unbelievable.
You know, the fact you could push an XS650, as we're watching the restart here on the replay, that XS650 not giving up. I mean, come on, it's a pushrod air-cooled motor. It survived 6 laps at speed.
Yeah, that's really impressive to see them really pushing that vintage motorcycle and, you know, trying to hang with these, like, a little more advanced motorcycles. You know, these inline fours, the Yamaha R1 is no slouch. So to be able to go out there on that vintage air-cooled motorcycle and run with these guys is really impressive.
Yeah, that's what's so fun about this sidecar class. There's room for everyone, Tony. You know, I would love to see somebody. You guys came out here on Harleys and stuff. You know, I'd love to see someone build an Indian or a Harley-powered rig, and I'd love to see it out here. All passenger. I'll put it out there.
Well, there it is. He's making the official call. All the guys down in the pits. He wants to see a Harley-powered sidecar out here next year. As we watch the replay, there is the checkered flag for that Formula One car. That's a beautiful, beautiful built car. Really impressive. Those guys really fought all race long with the number 88 Formula 2 car there. Those guys put on an impressive race, back and forth all race long, and really put on a great show.
Well, we're back live here. Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, and we just had an opportunity to see the sidecars. Tony, I know you and I have never seen those, and obviously this program brought to you by Sly Fox, Alloy Art, and the good folks that come from Bridgestone, some of the best tires in the business, helping some of the best teams in the game. And again, it's the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, live at Willow Springs, the fastest road in the West, they call this.
Track. I mean, that's a new addition to the Bagger Racing League. Really impressive. A lot of craftsmanship and ingenuity going into these cars. Great to see them going out there and battling with us this weekend. Huge thanks to those guys. They're getting ready to throw out a few podium speeches down here. We're going to get ready to throw it down to Diana.
Yeah, she's been learning a lot of stuff today. She comes from motocross, supercross. We talked about some of the Travis Pastrana things, but this event with how intense all the different machines. We're going to see two-strokes, and we're going to see some of the big inline four-strokes. We talked about moving these bikes. Look at us taking a few people, gosh, probably a couple of minutes to get one of those things twisted around the right way. They have rear-view mirrors on them. They got induction systems hanging off the side as they forced air in section. A lot of great stuff out there in this sidecar class. I'm really glad we invited them.
Yeah, I think so, too. They really put on a great show. Really a great addition to the program.
Tell you what, let's go down trackside. And Diana Dahlgren.
What an incredible race that we just had in these sidecars. Absolutely amazing. Bill Becker, you're driving in. You finished our third place finisher here today, driving this mean machine. Tell us how it was out there on this course. You guys were incredible.
We were doing the best we could with what we had to work with, that's for sure. The track's nice, new pavement's excellent. It's just really fun for us to be out there doing it. The trophies are extra. We just like getting out there and doing it.
We absolutely love seeing it. And then we have Larry Campbell, your passenger here. And it was incredible watching you. I mean, you're left, you're right, you're all over him. I mean, what is it like being eye level, a foot above pavement?
It's a lot of difference from being up high. Yeah. You're a lot faster when you're going.
So is it scary out there? I mean, you got a lot of courage.
It can be scary.
Yeah, do you ever have rocks hit your face, debris? I mean, what are the things that you're seeing as passenger?
A lot of grasshoppers out there.
A lot of grasshoppers. All righty. Well, Bill Becker and Larry Campbell, congratulations on your third place finish here. And thank you guys so much for coming out here in sidecar. We absolutely love seeing you. Guys, take it away. We're going to get second place up here next.
Thanks a lot, Diana. She's down there trackside. And again, our next group is coming up to the line, and we got the Zippers ATU. So that's American Twins Unlimited. After that class, we're going to go with our two-strokes and vintage bikes. And then we'll have our wrap-up, the Bagger GP. Now, that's the class where the Fred Fox Cup gets handed out 2 years in a row now. Nick Trask is taking it home along with Insane Shane Narbone. He wants to do it again.
Yeah, you know those guys from Trask are hungry. They want to take home that trophy for the third time. And Shane's sitting on top of the points right now. So he just has to go out, ride a smooth, smart race, and he can bring it home this season.
Well, when you talk about bringing it home, let's take it back down to the podium, because I have a feeling that Miss Diana Dahlgren has found a couple more finishers.
That's right, here with our second place finisher, Wade Boyd, absolutely crushing out there. I mean, your guys' team was incredible. I mean, there was a constant battle. I absolutely loved watching it. How was it out there at Willow Springs Raceway?
Great time.
That's awesome.
It was fantastic.
What was it like battling?
It was great. We tried to make it a battle, and Bernard's car is a little faster than ours, but so he motored us, but I get him in the corners and stuff, so I could get back on him. He'd get me down the back straightaway. But it was great. Really good riding.
Absolutely amazing to watch. You guys were so entertaining. Eric Lindauer, you're the passenger for our number 2 finisher. Absolutely incredible watching you you're flinging that body. I mean, listen, you're 220 at least, and you're throwing the weight back and forth. It's crazy.
That's too much fun.
The true beauty of these machines is watching you guys work together in sync.
Yeah, I'm definitely the co-pilot. Yep. I'm helping to steer the bike. Absolutely, yeah.
Well, we had a blast watching you out here. Thank you so much for coming. Second place finisher sidecar, and we get you guys a little medal.
Cool. Thank you.
All righty, guys, take it away. We're going to have our first place finishers next.
Thanks a lot, Diana. She's down there trackside. She's got everybody all excited and pumped up about sidecar. I think I want to go out there and maybe go for a spin.
Let's go. You want to be the passenger? I'll be the driver. Let's go, Rob. Should be a lot of fun. sidecars were a huge hit out here today. Everybody was on the wall, glued to the action. Great battle out there all race long.
I tell you what, earlier today, we had something a little special. The guys from 2 Lane Life made a trip out here, and they took their fans on a lap around this great facility. I want to thank my good friends out there, Lance Corey and Galen Anderson, because they took the fans around 75, 80 bikes out there.
Yeah, it was great to see all the fans that came out and lined up and got to spin a lap out on the racetrack and really get a racer's eye view of what's going on out there on the track. Like I said earlier, you can't really appreciate the elevation in this track from the side. So fans got a great opportunity to spin around Willow Springs.
You know, you talk about going for a lap, that's a good thing, but it's really unique when you see what the race surface. It gives you such a better perspective. Years and years ago, we used to do a lot of track walking and things like that. You know who's coming up next is the Zippers ATU. Now, that'll be the second notice for them. The Zippers ATU, they're going to make their way down to the starting line. But Galen and Lance did a great job, and it's great. Keep following them on 2 Lane Life. But we get this next group of riders out there. It's the ATU. But before we do, let's go down to one of the tallest individuals here today, and Miss Diana Dahlgren.
Congratulations, our first place finishers in the sidecar. It was absolutely wonderful watching you guys go out there and burn laps. Bernard Euclid, amazing what you guys can do with this machine.
Well, this is a Formula One car, and it's a fast machine. It's faster than the F2s on this track because it's a really fast track. So it's cool. We like to go fast, so we like this track.
I saw guys trying to catch up with you, and you just were not having it. Kevin Kowski, how was it out there throwing that weight around the back of this machine?
I love it. This is such a thrill to be here, to be a part of this event. And, you know, top speeds up the straightaway, 180, 185. It's incredible. It's just, I just love it. And, Bernard and I, we become one driver because he depends on me. I need to be in position way before he's even thinking about that turn or that part of the track. And we become one, and it's just beautiful when it just flows nicely like it did today.
It's absolutely beautiful. You guys truly showed that you were working in unison, way out in front, keeping off everyone, fending them off from behind. So congratulations, our first place finishers here for the sidecar. Bagger Racing League had you guys out here, and we hope to see you again in 2024. Congratulations, you two, our first place finisher sidecar. Guys, we're going to have more racing. Take it away.
Obviously, the race teams down there are excited. Now, we got our next group of guys coming up. This is ATU. We came up with this because everybody seemed to want a second class. It's an American Twins Unlimited. This will run what you brung.
Yeah, you're going to see a lot of familiar names you might have already seen earlier today. So, jumping in there, we got Anthony Bagma, Gilbert Condy, Devin McLaughlin, all racers that we've seen earlier today. But this is kind of their second opportunity to get back out on their track and maybe redeem themselves if they weren't happy with their earlier finish.
Craig Braymiller put in some solid work. He rides the Road Glide out there. Michael Vittel's on a Road Glide. Steve Chamberlain, Road Glide mounted. Robert Parker, Big Twin. Anthony Bagma's on a Buell. And you got Gilbert Condy. He's on an FTR. Devin McLaughlin, I think he's on a Big Twin. So we've got a little something for everybody.
Yeah, the thing I love about the ATU class is the opportunity to get to see how these Big Twins, Softails, and Dynas mix it up with the big baggers. And you can really get to see the advantage of one or the other. They get to mix it up and battle each other all on the same time on the track at the same time.
Well, they have them bundled up down there as they're going to get ready to head them out on their sighting lap, and they'll have this chance when we're done with that. We're going to see 2 strokes in vintage superbikes, and then we're going to wrap it up with the NAMS Bagger GP, the premier class in the Bagger Racing League. And these riders are all down their trackside as they get ready to head out on their sighting lap.
Yeah, this is their opportunity to kind of, like I said earlier, start to feel loose, get the arms loose, get the legs loosened up, start to feel one with the motorcycle, start to feel that traction. The track temperature may be changing as the afternoon goes on. It gets a little bit warmer out there, taking in a little bit more sun. They motor out of pit lane onto the track for their sighting lap.
Diana, trackside you were, down there with the sidecar guys, and we're having such a good time here today. What in the world? We got these bikes out here now. This is run what you brung.
Yeah, it's absolutely amazing to see these guys, what they're doing down there with the sidecars. Now we absolutely insane to watch. I hope there's some battles that are going down, because that's what makes racing. It's watching these battles. It's awesome when the guys get out in front. That's a clean line, but I'm going to be looking for the stories down the line. Second, third, fourth, where's the battle at?
That's the journalist in you always coming out, looking for those hidden stories, the things that really add something special to the show. By the way, I really appreciate you making the drive up here today. You decided that the BRL might be something a little bit interesting. You said, okay, I'll come check you guys out. Now you're like almost hooked. You're like a regular around here.
Listen, Rob, when Rob Vitus calls, you go, okay? You're an old friend, you're an old colleague, and I am so grateful that you thought of me to have out here. So I'm having a great time. You've put on an amazing event, and I honestly, congratulations to you for kicking ass and doing all this hard work.
Well, thanks a lot. I appreciate that. I wish my wife heard you say that when I call, you come running, because I call and she's like, put me on hold, so that's okay. All right, Tony, these guys have a sighting lap, and then we're going to have some two-strokes. I can't wait to see those. The Moto Dofo crew brought a really, really cool TZ250, and then we're going to wrap it up, as I mentioned, with the NAMS Bagger GP, the Fred Fox Cup on the line. That's going to be something special, and you know that Nick Trask, when he came out here, he wanted to make sure that they were loaded for bear. And here they come back after their sighting lap, and we're going to get these riders all gridded up.
Yeah, you see these guys starting to come down the front stretch. They got to keep an eye out. They got to find their grid spot. They don't have a spotter out there. They have to know exactly where their starting position is. So these guys are staying hyper-focused right now, finding their grid spot, or they may get DQ'd if they're in the wrong spot.
Tony, maybe you can help me out with this. Why is it? Help me out with this, Tony. As you see all these people here in the paddock, not everybody is completely experienced here, me included, and I can own that. So we have these bikes out on the track. You have some that have that front massive fairing. Then you have some that don't, that more moto looking. What is the key difference, and does that change their timing?
Well, what we wanted to do is we wanted to give everybody, they were, the guys in the production stock, the guys in lightweights, big twins, they go, we want a second race. So we came up with this run what you brung. There's baggers, there's Pan Americans, there's FTRs. They're all out there, boom! And we got a green flag.
Wow, Corey Cowan from the back row making huge gains. He's already picked up about 12 spots. Corey Cowan not wasting any time on that Alloy Art Pan America, making the outside move. I think he's already up to the front spot. Wow, Corey Cowan did not mess around.
Tony Bagma comes with him, and then Condi back in the number 2 spot. Man, look at that action. That was early. When you take a launch like that, I know we'll have a replay at the end of this, but I want to see how he got that kind of drive.
Yeah, I want to see, was that Steve Chamberlain that was a wheelie off the start line? I mean, that was incredible.
Yeah, Steve is he's well known for just launching that bike off the line. He loves to wheelie off the start. Not the best tactic, but always putting on a great show for the fans. Steve, probably just out there having fun. This is his second race on the day. He's out there just mixing it up with the boys, looking to have a good time.
You talk about mixing it up out there. You got to make sure that you don't let Corey Cowan just break away. He's trying to break their spirit as quickly as he got from the back row up to the front. He's on the Alloy Art Pan American. Alloy Art was the first company to bring a Pan American to the racetrack. They did it at Sonoma, and they put Tony Salima on board. Tony's one of the pioneers, if you will, in the early racing scene. He's on the way to build a new bike, and we hope to have him back, but he raced the Pan America in the first race. The crazy thing was Patricia Fernandez was on a FTR. I think Corey West might have been on one, but the fastest guy that day, first time ever, was Benny Carlson on an XR 1200 in the amalgamation of the class.
Yeah, this class has always been very exciting, seeing different bikes coming into the class and who can be dominant. But you can see right now Corey Cowan opening up a good-sized lead over Anthony Bagma into turn 2 there. Corey just looking to just dominate this class and just really put the stamp in it, be the ATU champion on the year.
Well, he did it last year. I think he wants to do it again. I mean, it's a when you get that number 1 plate on the bike, winning it's hard. Maintaining it, that's the biggest challenge we've ever seen. And I know that coming up through the thing, Bagma right now, he's got a little bit of company behind him. I think that's Gilbert Condi right now.
Yeah, these guys are really mixing it up here. We got a Buell versus an FTR 1200. This is kind of old technology versus new technology. These guys are really mixing it up. Anthony Bagma, Gilbert Condi going at it here going down the hill into turn 6.
You know, they come down and in and out of the turn, and Bagma had that big run at it, but Condi, that's an FTR. Now, I would say that's, again, one of the more technologically advanced bikes, liquid-cooled, single shock in the back, comes with upside-down forks on it right from the get-go, so you have a really nice advantage. Now, the Pan American Harleys, you start to take the body work off of them, and all of a sudden, they start to become a pretty forceful bike out on the track.
Yeah, that Pan America is just, you know, a really respectful motorcycle right off the showroom floor. It doesn't take a lot to get it race ready. You know, oh, look at this, Bagma diving in. Anthony Bagma, Corey Cowan, and Gilbert Condi. Looks like we got the order mixed up a little bit, but Condi taking over Bagma going into turn 1. Bagma looking to maybe get it back in turn 2 and show him a wheel.
You know, the best thing is, I like it when we're smarter than technology. Now, we're watching it flip around, and we know that it's Corey Cowan out front, but sometimes the scoring and timing doesn't quite keep up. Don't worry, we got this.
Yeah, you know, sometimes technology is not as good as us people. And that's what we battle going into 2024, is that you can rely on humans still. We are still better than technology.
Sometimes we are, but right now, Corey Cowan on the Pan American way out front. Condi comes under attack now. Anthony Bagma has been with us most of the year, and I believe he picked up the lightweight twins. We'll have to make sure there wasn't anything, but, you know, we'll go back and get him his number 1 plate. The folks from Icon, normally Kurt Walter, and we bring Cat out here sometimes. They've done Booney bike races with us, and Bagma's looking to go around this FTR.
Yeah, I think Bagma's really trying to set him up here, maybe catch a draft going around the front, down the front stretch here. I think he's really playing cat and mouse here a little bit. Really playing smart. Going to pick up the draft coming down the front stretch here, coming at here right now. Let's see what Bagma can do coming down the front stretch.
Can you imagine living in that neighborhood in the background and hearing race cars and motorcycles all day long?
I mean, yeah, I could imagine that would be absolutely epic to be here, especially if you're a moto race fan. You love the cars, you love the two-wheel. I mean, whatever they got racing here, it's a free pass.
Man, Robert Parker got that big twin rolling right now. He's starting to work on, I believe that's the Geezer glide ride.
Yeah, Robert Parker coming off that high on that win in the Big Twin class earlier today, so he's on a high, really starting to put in the work there. That Geezer glide sponsored bike under attack by Robert Parker right now, going around turn 2, heading into turn 3 here. This is the most technical part of the track, going up the hill into the Omega.
They're coming up and around, and you see the Willow Springs World Fastest Road in the west, so if you're going to be out here, here comes another battle, and it looks like Parker is trying to go to, look at that, inside line.
Wow, that was a really smart move. He really set that up back in turn 3 and then just cut underneath him into turn 4. A very, very smart move by Robert Parker.
Parker, you know, you win a championship, and all of a sudden, you're just like, nah, not today. Today's my day.
Well, today is his day. He's the champ. He's got to show it, and if you're going to come out here, you're going to have a target on your back being the champ, but you got to put it down. That's why you have to show you're the champ. You're going to do it. You're going to pull the pass, or you're going to fend him off.
Well, speaking of fending him off, we keep our eyes out on the straightaway to make sure these machines are coming down. Here comes some of the bigger bagger machines in behind. That's Bagma and Condi. We're waiting to see, and I haven't seen Corey Cowan in a quick minute. Have you seen him come through?
You know what? I have not. I have lost touch of where Corey Cowan's at. I don't know if he's just stretched out that far of a lead or if maybe he had an issue. We'll have to try and track down where Corey Cowan is on the racetrack right now.
It'd be a tough break for him. I know he's one of those riders that does a lot of work in the offseason. He's always stays ready. Here comes another big drag race between the baggers, and Craig Braymiller now makes his way around Mike Vitale. So backside of the track, Diana, they're starting to spread themselves out here as the laps are running down. We're going to have 2 more races after this. Steve Chamberlain and Emilio Ramirez battling out there. Emilio had a motor blow down in Daytona. They took the bike home, fixed it, made the drive out here from Buffalo, and Emilio's in the mix. But I love these drone views. You can really just see the track come to you.
Yeah, absolutely. Hey, there we go. We got timing back up on it. Are we good now, guys? Are we good? No? It's okay. We got the drones going. You're seeing overhead. These guys are flying, putting it down. But, Tony, talk about the spacing on the track right now. We can see there's a pretty good time gap. There's the number 1 plate crossing right now, and that is Corey Cowan, Gilbert Condi, and Anthony Bangma coming across the line right now.
I think Bangma, though, he's got something here. I think he might be holding up on Condi.
He might be setting up a last lap pass here on Condi. He's a crafty racer, got a lot of laps on that Buell, so he may be trying to set him up here.
Just as I say that, he puts about a 10 bike length run on him. So maybe he's not setting him up, but we'll see if Condi. So the finishing order would be Corey Cowan, Gilbert Condi, Anthony Bagma, and Robert Parker on that big twin. And tell you what, he's having a good afternoon, and he's feeling it right now.
Yeah, he's really in the groove. He's coming off the high of that number 1 position in the earlier race, that top step of the podium. Just really putting in some smooth, solid laps here.
Well, smooth, solid laps, and the afternoon here at a beautiful racetrack. There goes the 331 machine. Mike Vitale in behind him on the Jim's Garage machine. But out front, Corey Cowan. And this class has really been a benefit for him the last couple years. I don't know that he's lost a race in quite a while in ATU.
No, Corey Cowan is just an absolute assassin out there on that Pan America. I mean, he is really hard to beat. He looks as though he's rounding around the back stretch, going to be coming across the front stretch here any minute here to take the checkered flag. But Corey Cowan just absolutely putting it to these guys out here today. Here he comes, Corey Cowan taking the checkered flag in the ATU class. He's our number 1 finisher.
So Corey Cowan takes the win. Hold on. He ran off the track at the end after the checkered flag.
Oh, wow.
I saw him come through, and he just kind of stayed straight through the dirt. I'm like, all right, you got this.
Hold on,
Here
Corey.
comes second, and that's Condi, followed by Anthony Bagma. So Corey Cowan takes the win. Mr. Condi comes across the line in the number 2 spot, and another solid ride for Anthony Bagma in the number 3 spot. Another one of these drag races down the front straight. And that's a good one. That is a good one. I got a feeling that our buddy Shredder Bob has moved into some rare air right now. He's living the life of a champion.
Yeah, Shredder Bob, congratulations to him on 2 wonderful races he put in today. He put in a lot of solid laps today. He really impressive ride, to come right off track from his big twin win and then come out here in the ATU class and really just be competitive and come in 4th there. So you see the checkered flags flying out there. Last of this clash is coming across. Looks like we got a drag race coming down. Steve Chamberlain and Emilio Jimenez. That's a photo finish right there. Wow, those guys going all the way to the line. Got another lightweight bike just crossing the finish line there. What an exciting race. Congratulations to Corey Cowan and the Alloy Art Pan America bike. Absolutely dominant out there today. Gilbert Condi and Anthony Bagma rounding out your top 3 in this American Twins Unlimited class.
A little bit of a replay here, and let's watch this start. Cowan came from dead last. Chamberlain's wheeling the whole way, and Corey dipped in before they got to turn number 1 in 3rd. Second on the outside and had the lead by turn 2.
Corey Cowan with one of the best starts I've ever seen. Definitely the best start of the season here goes to Corey Cowan in the ATU class from the back road and number 1 by turn 2. Dipping in and out of riders. Going past a wheeling Steve Chamberlain here. As you can see here, there's a little bit of the battles going back and forth between Condi and Bagma mid-race here. Those guys had a great battle back and forth all race long. You can see him heading up the hill into turn 4 there. That's Bob Parker's inside pass there on that Geezer Glide sponsored bike. Shredder Bob just got that number 1 plate on his wall, and he's just out there on a high, having a great race out there.
Yeah, it was definitely good to see him putting it in there. And as they go down across the line, I'll tell you what, we're going to take a break, and when we come back, the podium will be set up. The ATU, 2 more races to go. We're at Willow Springs for the Bagger Racing League.
Trask Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components. All made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask.
This BRL broadcast is brought to you by Zippers Performance Products, DP Brakes, and Dunlop Motorcycle Tires. Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers, the BRL, and we're getting ready to head down to the podium, and we'll have an opportunity. Head down to the podium. And we'll have an opportunity to talk to the top three in the ATU. Diana, who you down there with?
Well, I'm here with our third place finisher, Anthony Bangma. Congratulations. Guess what? Here you are again, and you're taking home another piece of a hardware.
Yeah, this is great. First time here, so we're still kind of figuring the track out a little bit, but super happy to be on the podium.
You came from the East Coast or Midwest, and now you're here on the West Coast, and it's been treating you great all day long.
It is. We got a super competitive bike, and we're just happy to be out here doing this.
Well, we can't wait to see you back here at the 2024 season of Bagger Racing League. Will you be running multiple classes again then as well?
Yeah, I would imagine I would be.
All right, well, congratulations. Your third place finisher in the Zippers ATU. Anthony Bangma, do you want to thank anyone before I let you go?
Yeah, Brony's Furniture from Grand Rapids, Michigan, Bison Leathers, and Rhino Power Sports Supplements.
All righty, thank you again, Anthony, our third place finisher. Guys, take it away. We're going to get second and first up here next.
Thanks a lot, Diana. The rest of the crew down there to get up there to their podium spots. We'll have a chance to talk to Mr. Condi and Corey Cowan once again, and then we'll have the two-strokes. I love two-strokes. Anything that makes the air that tasty and sounds that sweet when they're coming by on the pipe is going to be exciting. And then those big inline four-cylinder thunder bikes, if you will, as they're going to be coming down the line. I mean, they used to have so much flex in them and stuff. I know these guys have braced the frames. They've done all that, but those things were a handful.
Yeah, hold on, we're going to go back down to Diana with our second place finisher.
That's right, our second place finisher, Gilbert Condi. We're back up here seeing you again. You got the glory, you got the tin. Congratulations.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much. I'd like to thank Real Flex CVD, Dunlop Tires, SMT Wheels, and Lindell Brakes. They helped me out a lot, and it's awesome. I'm glad I could do something for them, put out the bike out on the podium. It's really fun. I like doing it. Can't beat it.
That race seemed very clean and flawless, not making many mistakes there.
Oh, no. Well, that's, every time you clean up your act, every time just try to get better. That's what makes it fun, you put more work in the next guy and see what happens. That's all.
I think that in 2024, we're going to see you for the hunt on Corey Cowan. What do you think?
Oh, he's fast. I got to throw a couple more bucks at the bike. Everyone wants to throw with me a cam and a motor. We'll see what we can do to get up there.
All right, well, congratulations, your second place finisher, Gilbert Condi. Guys, take it away. Next up, we're going to have Corey Cowan.
Well, thanks a lot, Diana. Down there tightening up the podium, getting everybody dialed in. And a second call. I want to give another shout out, a second call. Now, these are the vintage super bikes and two-strokes. So vintage super bikes and two-strokes, gang, if you're sitting at home, wait till you see these. Now, I wish you were here with us because Tony will tell you, wait till you hear these bikes.
Yeah, I mean, I think like a lot of us, we all grew up riding two-stroke motorcycles, so we're going to throw it back down to Diana. She's got Corey Cowan there with that belt over his shoulder.
Okay. Congratulations in your ATU, Zippers ATU class. Your number one plate, Corey Cowan. Incredible race because you started at the very back of the pack, and here you are at the top of the box. You are the finisher here at the Willow Springs Raceway.
Yeah, thanks for everybody, and thanks for Zippers for putting on a great event, and all the competitors, the fans that came out. I got to thank Robbie and Justin and all the guys at Alloy Art for providing me a great bike, and my wife and kids for a bunch of support and letting me do the things that I love, and all my friends that came out with me. So I appreciate everything.
In the 2024 season, are you the man to beat? I mean, you've set yourself up year after year now.
I don't know that I'd be as brash as saying I'm the man to beat, but I would like to be one of the men to beat. So, yeah, I look forward to 24.
Well, congratulations, Corey Cowan, our #1 finisher here at Willow Springs Raceway in the Zippers ATU class. Guys, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Diana. Now, we've got something special coming up here. We're going to have this super bike in two-stroke class, and I think the final call, right? It's the final call time. Let's get the guys and gals and everybody that's competing out there. And what a lineup. I've seen Moto Guzzi's. I've seen Hondas, Kawasaki's. I don't know if I've seen any Suzuki's yet, but I got to think there's some GS mixed in there somewhere. What are some of the bigger classes that or bigger displacement bikes we can see?
Well, I'll tell you, Robbie, this is a remarkable class. Ladies and gentlemen, I hope you appreciate, and I want to thank BRL Racer League again for bringing out the super bikes. This is what it used to be like back in the day. Put your life back with Don Emdy, our Grand Marshal, back at Daytona, back in the day. This is the kind of stuff you saw on the grid. You have two strokes out there. They're running their own class. You have these fire-breathing 4 strokes. You've got twins. You've got air-cooled 4s. It's quite an eclectic mix.
Well, we're going to send them loose. But, man, there's always something going on. We had told you that we had the gang from 2 Lane Life here. Let's find a little bit more about their program.
Hey guys, I'm Diana Dahlgren. I'm standing here with Galen Anderson and Lance Corey. Big Lance, they are with 2 Lane Live. Very special having them out here today because they're going to be leading our fan parade lap, which is such an incredible, unique experience here at BRL Racing League. Tell us about what's happening when you get out on that pavement hanging out with the fans today.
I don't know. Are we leading it or are we going to race it?
What's going to happen? We don't know. Anything could happen here.
He likes to twist the throttle, and I think he might want to take off, so we'll see what happens. But, hey, you know, you never know. It'll be fun.
It's going to be fun no matter what. I mean, it's a historical race facility here, Willow Springs, since 1953. And what a unique experience that these spectators actually get to do before the race.
Unique for us, too, because we've never led a fan lap. And we're excited. I am going to leave them in the dust. I'm going to take off full throttle. I don't care what Rob said. He said stay at 35 or 40. That ain't happening.
That ain't going to happen. It's 5th gear pinned. We're rolling down the track, okay? So we have 2 Lane Life with these 2 gentlemen here, and they do some incredible work just furthering the community for 2-wheel, for Harley. You guys are doing absolutely insane things. Talk about your podcast and what you're doing for the community.
Well, we travel the country. We're shaking hands with America. So we do history, food, and small 2-lane roads all over, which is great. On Thursdays, we do a live podcast on YouTube that goes to Spotify. We do a lot of charity work with first responders. Anyone that has a cause, we'll talk to them, and we'll make something happen.
That's incredible. Tell us about where you've been going with Harley Davidson. You've been working on some special projects. I mean, wow, like the godfather of Harleys, you know?
Yeah, we're pretty darn blessed. I mean, for the last 3 years, we've done the bike launches. We've done a lot of commercial work with them, project work. If you get to the Harley-Davidson app, you'll see Mile Crushing Series with 2 Lane Life showing people the type of rides that they can go on, short, long, in between. So it's really cool to be working with them, and we're blessed to have that in our life right now.
Okay, well, you guys heard it. 2 Lane Life, Galen Anderson, Lance Corey, Big Lance here. We're so incredibly grateful to have you guys here at BRL Racing League, and so excited to see what happens because we don't know what's going to happen with these 2 leading the fan parade lap, guys. So let's get this thing done. Let's get it going, guys. Woo!
Well, they're finishing up their sighting lap. You're going to know most of these guys. I think you raced with most of them.
I have indeed. Boy, the stories we could tell about this grid. I'll tell you what, we've got these fire-breathing superbikes out here. Let's start down with our poll. The number 45 of Curtis Adams on the Honda Jeff Stern tuned bike. This bike is a rocket ship. Keep your eyes on that number 45. This race will be over quickly. Mark Miller starting on grid position number 2 on the Hypercycle. John Litzy rounding out that front row. Darren Galvin on the Honda starting on that second row. Ed Milich on the Ducati Panta. Andrew Gray on the Moto Guzzi. Jason Reeves on the Honda, C.J. Benura on the Honda, and Grant Spence also on a single-cam Honda. On to two-stroke, Damian Doffo starting on the inside of the front row. Sean Woolery Frank Lapina and BJ Bohr. Here goes the green laundry. We are underway with racing.
Big puffs of blue smoke coming out of the Moto Dofo bike. That's not a problem. That's a two-stroke. But the number 10 machine finds itself roaring up to the front of the pack. Vintage super bikes. Guys, we think we're back in the days of the 70s. That could be Reg Pridmore out there.
It could be Don Emdy. It could be Reg Pridmore. These guys, this is what Willow Springs International Raceway since 1953, the fastest road in the West, is all about. You are about to see fire-breathing superbikes at rocket ship speeds coming up through the Omega right now, and I'm expected to see a righteous race between Mark Miller and Curtis Adams.
You know, you talk about a righteous race. These guys now, they called something, the bikes would flex, they would twist, they would turn. I know that you had to brace the frames, you had to make sure the tires, they were running bias ply tires, I think, way back in the 70s.
I used to race a GS 1000 out here, and one time I was coming out of turn 9, and I kept pulling the throttle, and my tuner, you know, I came in and I said, the clutch is slipping. And he goes, no, it's not. He goes, look at the streakies in 9. He goes, that's wheel spin.
So you were writing an autograph out there, basically, with your bike with that back wheel. Have you ever spent much time on any of these older inline super? Me, personally, growing up, my dad had a triple Kawasaki, so that was my first street bike. He handed that down. I think he wanted to off me at that time. Then I started to move into, like, the slab side GSXRs, but I really wasn't around, and these guys are tucked up.
This is an epic battle. Mark Miller and Curtis Adams have had a lot of races under their belt competing like this throughout the days. You are about to see an incredible race. Curtis Adams, a Formula USA champion out here at Willow Springs. The guy is super fast, and look at that. Curtis is so smooth. Coming up on the outside of Miller. Is he going to make it work going into 3? It's a drag race and under braking. What's going to happen? Oh, look at that. Curtis shows Mark, I'm going to take this line.
I thought these guys were the gentleman racers. They're running in hot on each other. Tony, that guy just came right up and he just leaned on him. He said, hold on, I got you right here.
Yeah, these guys might be vintage, but they are no stranger to just aggressive riding. You know, one of the biggest things I was impressed with yesterday through practice and qualifying, you might think these bikes are vintage, so you might think maybe they're slow, but no, these guys really laid down some fast laps yesterday. These guys are no joke. They're pushing the limits on these vintage bikes. Really amazing to see. It's, you know, we see Adam still out front of Miller here having a great battle. These guys are going to be mixing it up all day.
Out front is Wes Cooley. No, I'm only kidding. It would be cool if they were out there on those things. What is the, like, so for bagger racing, a Road Glide tends to be more of the bike for that class, and he mentioned the Softail M8. For a vintage bike, if you were out there maybe wanting to get into this, what would you kind of maybe look at as the bike?
You know, you've got your Honda contingent, you've got your Kawasaki contingent. I personally run a 1000S Cooley Superbike in this class. It's currently broken, why I'm up here. So it's a matter of choice. You know, do you want the air-cooled, fire-breathing inline 4? You got a couple of twins out there. You've got the two-stroke. Let's look at this race between Dofo and Sean Woolery. Let's not forget that two-stroke class going into turn number 1. They're having a nice little race. But, you know, Robbie, I don't know. I mean, I'm a Suzuki guy. I'm an 8-valve Suzuki guy. Have been for years. That's my personal opinion. But look at Curtis Adams. He's owning this race right now on a Honda. I think he paid $400 for it a couple of years ago.
All right, so if somebody wanted to do this, and you mentioned a price like $400, I saw Tony's eyes light up. He goes, I got to, you know. So you buy the bike. You want to make sure you have a good motor, something solid, and I know there's even some old big board kits and stuff floating around. Then you want to make sure that you put a solid swing arm on there so it starts to be a little more compliant, some good suspension. Now, these guys aren't getting crazy with upside-down forks and things. They're running, period, I guess you'd say, suspension components.
Yeah, you know, with a lot of the current sanctioning bodies with Superbike, they don't allow the upside-down forks, the crazy 17-inch wheels. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Curtis Adams and Mark Miller are out there on 18-inch wheels, you know, from back in the day. Narrow rims, that's the way the class works. And look at this into turn number 1. Miller under braking, sucks up some distance on Curtis Adams. I don't know. This is it's too close to call for me, guys.
Well, I'll tell you what, we'll handle this because right now, the 10 and the 45, and look at him, he's peeking to the inside. He's trying to tip it in on him a little bit. And you mentioned they're setting the pass up a couple turns in advance, Tony. He's looking now. He's running on the inside. What's going to happen is he's going to have to get forced up a little bit. It's a real yo-yo. And look at the Moto Dofo TZ250, the yellow bike in the background, trying to link into it. Now, there's another two-stroke right in front of him. That thing looks a bit more modern, that kind of carbon fiber gray one.
Yeah, that's Sean Woolery on a TZ250. Not exactly that modern. I think it's like a 1997 model, but it's tuned. It's good. Sean is a very capable rider. I've raced with him a lot, and he can really spend a lot of time this week in getting that bike dialed in, and he's just putting a little distance on Dofo, so let's see if Damian can actually reel him back in.
Looks like he's kind of locked onto that draft. Now, that's a big inline four he's trying to run down. He's on a... how many cylinders are in a TZ250?
It's a liquid-cooled 250cc Yamaha motor on the TZ, and they'll put out 70 horsepower or so. I mean, think back in the old AMA days. Rich Oliver. Remember the old AMA two-stroke grids? They'd have 30 of these bikes out there. It was not a mosquito to be found in the vicinity.
Well, here they come now. Curtis Adams, Mark Miller, John Litzy, Darren Govin, and Sean Woolery. Now, we got two strokes and the big inline fours. And I guess I got to get, are they two cylinders or multi-cylinders on those two strokes?
It's a liquid-cooled two-cylinder, two-stroke Yamaha motor. There you go.
So kind of like a big Banshee engine for the four-wheel guys or four-wheelers out there. Here they come down the straightaway, and it looks like the Moto Dofo TZ might have kind of found its stride there a little bit as he starts to reel them in.
Yeah, I got a special place in my heart for that two-stroke sound. I grew up riding the Yamaha Banshee, off-road, drag racing those, so, just hearing the roar of that two-stroke coming down this straightaway just brings back memories of my childhood of just drag racing two-stroke stuff. Really cool stuff to see out here.
Banshee was my quad. The Banshee was my quad, and I absolutely loved it. And Yamaha put it out some very good two-stroke machines.
Kind of the crazy thing about the Banshee, that's like one of the most collectible dirt things you can have right now. If you see one for under $4,000, it's a deal. And I remember a couple years ago, the other crazy part was those things were like $1,200-$1,300, and then all of a sudden everybody figured out that, hey, you could do this and it gets good. Wow, look at that kind of rip and roaring.
Oh, man. White flag lap. It's do or die for Mark Miller. Heading off into turn number 2 now. You've got Curtis Adams, and watch how smooth he is through turn 2. But Miller, also a smooth rider, former Isle of Man racer. There's Jason Reeves on the single cam Honda 750. He had a little bit of mechanical problem, but he got it out on the track. But look at this. Curtis under hard braking into 3. Does Miller have anything for him in the next few turns?
Well, we're going to find that out here as we get ready. Second to last race of the day. We got the NAMS Bagger GP coming up. I hope that Jeff Zielinski's at home back in Pennsylvania watching this, because this was going to determine the champion. The Fred Fox Cup gets handed out at this award, and we'll have Tom Motzko and a couple other guys that will kind of handle that. And again, this second to final round, this is vintage superbike, or classic superbike we could call it, and two strokes.
Indeed, and here they go through the fastest part of the Willow Springs International Raceway, the turn 8-9 area. On the run for the checkers now through 9. It looks like Adams may have it in hand. I was watching him in practice yesterday out in 9, and that guy was so smooth. So here he comes on the drive out of 9. It looks like he's going to get Miller at the stripe, but not for the lack of trying. Double checkers fly. Curtis Adams takes the win. Mark Miller in the second spot. We're looking for that third spot in the big bore class. But don't forget, Dofo was reeling in Sean Woolery.
So 2 strokes and 4 strokes. We've got the top 2. Litzy superbike as well.
Oh. Yeah, okay. John Litzy rounding out the top 3, takes the stripe at the checkered. And here comes that race in 2-stroke into turn number 8, ladies and gentlemen. Check it out. Damian Dofo has reeled in Sean Woolery. He's within about 4 or 5 bike lengths in through turn 8. Can he do it? Can he get the drive in through 9? on the run for the checkers. So this is it. One more turn left to go. This is two-stroke racing. Oh, I love the smell. I was following those guys yesterday in qualifying. It smells so good. And here he comes, up out of the draft, side by side. Not quite. Can't quite make it happen, Robbie.
There's the top two in the two-stroke class as they come through. And what a battle that was, top two.
Yeah, you know, it is so joyous to see these two-strokes out there. You know, we've got the Bagger Racing League out here. You know, you're talking about the Pan Americas, you know, some of the beautiful machinery out here. And it's just truly a delight to share, you know, the vintage superbikes and the two-strokes with, you know, our fellow motorcyclists out here. I hope you guys enjoyed the show.
Well, we certainly have enjoyed this facility and how nice the people are out here. Obviously, from the track workers to the track itself, been magnificent. How many two-stroke machines did we have in that battle out there? I saw two of them.
Yeah, you know, I think they are finicky little beasts to get underway. I think only two made the starting grid. You know, they're awful tough to get tuned sometimes out here in this high desert.
Well, I'll tell you what, guys. If you're watching this action, we are. The Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers. And all archived and live races are available on the BRL YouTube channel at Bagger Racing League Worldwide. And I'll tell you what, this has been something. I love vintage bikes and two-strokes. Folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, podium, and then we set up the NAMS Bagger GP, the final race of this BRL weekend at Willow Springs, and the crowd certainly indicates they are having a good time here. You're going to head down to the podium with Diana Dahlgren and pass out the hardware. My friend, I want to tell you thank you very much for jumping into action and making sure the sidecars and the vintage and two-strokes had the best in the business.
Always a pleasure to work up here. Thank you, Robbie, for including me in all this fun. Hope everyone had a great weekend out here, and we'll see you guys back out here soon, right?
Oh, that's exciting. They want us back. That's not normally how it is it?
I'm standing here with Damian Dofo. He's running the number 36 in our open two-stroke class. Super excited to have a Dofo here. I mean, you guys have an incredible winery out of Temecula, California. I mean, it's legendary, and what your family doing in the motocross community. Art, wine, it's awesome what you guys have going on.
Yeah, thank you. I'm super excited to be here. Thank you to Bagger Racing League for putting an open two-stroke class together. You know, coming out to, of course, Willow Springs, the fastest road in the West, and it's our local track, so familiar with the track, but it's definitely exciting to be out here on a really fast two-stroke and keeping the vintage alive, you know?
Let's talk about it. We actually added that to our race round just for this one, and hopefully going forward, we're going to have it as well. Is it excited to be lining up with the superbikes?
Yeah, I mean, being a vintage racer in the past, you know, we race Arma and stuff like that, and so I'm familiar with the vintage superbike guys, and it's cool that they combine the class, you know, and we should, you know, two-stroke should be able to keep up with some of the back markers of the superbikes, and you got somebody like Adams that's just flying out there, you know, putting on a clinic, but, you know, it should be a great race, and hopefully we get more turnout in the future rounds, you know.
In the 2024 season, can we see Dofo Winery out here in the pits? Maybe we can do some wine tasting, let's get a little tipsy in the pits.
I was definitely thinking that last night, you know, with all the festivities and stuff going on, that we could have totally had a wine something, and you know, hopefully Motodofo can be part of the Bagger Racing League family going forward. You know, I was talking to Rob, and we were talking about maybe a Motodofo Bagger Racing League collab wine to support the series.
Awesome. Well, thank you so much, Damian Dofo. Excited to have you here, and we're going to see more of you in 2024. Damian Dofo, thank you so much.
Diana Dahlgren always getting the behind the scenes, and hey, who knows? Maybe we will have an official wine of the BRL next year. Moto Dofo, if you ever make it out to Temecula and you stop by their facility, it is truly revolutionary. The bikes they have, the wine that they have, a magnificent spot. Well, this is where things start to get crazy. We're starting to get down to where the rubber meets the road, if you will. We've been through the vintage superbike. We've been through the two-strokes. This is the NAMS Bagger GP class. Jesse Janis, the last time we saw him at Blackhawk Farms, had a get-off. 4 months ago, broke his femur. Said, not only my back, I'm feeling faster than ever. You look at Ruben Zaus. As a matter of fact, I think that we should do one heck of a job, and if we can, find out a little bit more about Ruben Zaus.
Here with Ruben Zaus. Ruben, all the way from Andorra, this little country in Europe, and you have now came over here, Bagger Racing League. We're so excited to have you here. What has been a major difference from, let's say, MotoGP to now Bagger Racing League?
No, I mean, lovely to be here. First of all, I'm really welcome to come here with the BRL. It's really different. I'm really tired.
The time change, and then the bike weighs a couple hundred pounds.
The bike weight is heavy, so it's a connection because after 25 years racing, the connection was just straight away. I mean, you're thinking, you're turning. Here you're thinking, the bike just takes some time, and then you need to understand that situation. But we are creating it. Last week, the guys were feeling they've been working really hard to set up the bike because 5 days ago, the bike doesn't exist. We've done something different as the guys that are doing here on road racing, and we're very happy with the bike because the bike is working on good. Willow Springs is difficult to drive because it's got a real long corners with like blind corners that you cannot understand at the beginning, so I need to get some track time. But I'm very happy to just be here with Luke. Since day one we just went correctly together, thanks to Ben Boston that put us together in touch, and nothing. We are like the peak 3.0 running on the track today.
Yeah, you know, we're in the pits is that you are confident about tomorrow's racing. Are you feeling like you're going to dominate and get on that top of the podium?
I don't know really, because at the end, first exit I said, what I'm doing here? There's that thing, you know, bike's not turning, it's moving, it's but a bad moment to a comeback decision. But then second exit was better, third exit is better. I think we're going to get there. We need to understand that those guys, or many of those guys, are racing those baggers since long time, and it's track time what to give you back the situation. And on the really tricky corners, good lines, we are there. We're just missing the pace on the long, strange corners or bumpy corners. But I think we can just be there on top. I mean, maybe not winning like extremely easy, but we're going to come there. It's our shakedown for next year's situation.
Okay, well, thank you so much, Ruben. All the way from Andorra, Ruben Zaus. We cannot wait to watch him race tomorrow.
Ruben Zaus will be out on the track, but right now we're back down to the podium with Miss Diana Dahlgren.
Congratulations to our second place finisher here in the open two-stroke class. Congratulations, Damien Dofo. Incredible to see you out here. You are no stranger to this racetrack.
Yeah, it was a blast out there, a little windy. Conditions were a little tricky, but overall great race, and was chasing down Sean up to the finish line.
You were running with the super bikes, and we were just talking about how a super bike in front of you actually went through a tumbleweed. Poof, bloop, boop. Boom in your face. I'm sorry, tongue twister there, eh?
Yeah, we were coming down through 8 and 9, and the wind's whipping pretty good, and a bunch of tumbleweeds came by, and I think one of the superbike guys right in front of us hit a huge tumbleweed, and it exploded everywhere. You have to stay in it, though, you know, and keep chasing Sean. So,
Damien, who would you like to thank besides Dofo Winery for being out here this weekend?
Of course, my family for holding it down at the winery and giving me a chance to come out and do what we love, and Dofo Winery, Moto Dofo. That's it.
Moto Dofo, Damien Dofo, our second place finisher. Congratulations. Guys, take it away.
Thanks a lot, Diana. I know you got a couple more interviews down there, and then we'll have the NAMS Bagger GP final. Fred Fox Cup is on the line, and that's going to be something special. There's some rumors going around, young man, about 2024 with you. I know you don't want to let all the cats out of the bag, but we could see a big footprint from Tucker Speed.
Yeah, I don't want to say too much yet, but we've been talking a little bit. You know, we may want to step up our game for 2024 and maybe come out with a bigger, stronger team. But we're still in talks. We are still looking for sponsors and riders and all that fun stuff, all the behind-the-scenes stuff, the logistics of putting a race team together. So we're still early, so we don't want to say too much yet. But we would love to come out and be competitive in all these classes next year.
You know, we know a lot of folks are looking for, like you mentioned, sponsors and help and stuff like that. And it's funny, obviously, this sport's only 4 years old. But you know what? I want to go back down. We got somebody else that was like my man, Sean. Diana Dahlgren, who you with?
We are with our first place finisher in the open two-stroke, Sean Woolery. Congratulations. You get the glory and all the fame.
Yeah.
Congratulations. How was that race out there?
It was a little rough. It was windy, and coming into turn 8, the wind hit you and just about knocked you off the bike. So it was tough.
How do you face that? You come into these turns and all of a sudden this headwind comes into you. How do you handle that? What's your mental space like?
You know it's coming, and you just got to hold on tight. That's all you can do.
Grip it and rip it, right?
All right, that's all you got.
Well, congratulations again, Sean Woolery. We are so excited to have you win here at the Willow Springs Raceway.
Steve Bagansky, on-track suspension. I'm thankful for BRL for having us out here, and it was awesome. So thanks a lot. Appreciate it.
Congratulations, Sean. Guys, next up, we're going to have our next set of winners. Take it away for now.
Thanks a lot. I know them Superbike guys are excited to get up on the stage. The top 3 in that class certainly put on quite a battle. The crews out there doing this. This is our final championship round of the BRL. And you know what? We had another group of Bagger GP guys. Let's see who else Diana dug up as she made her way around the paddock.
Jesse Janish, last year's American Flag Track champion. Now you're here at the Bagger Racing League. What a story you have, honestly. Last round that you had broke your femur. Now here you are 4 months later in Illinois. What is the nerves like coming into this weekend's racing with that injury?
Yeah, we definitely took it a little slow there the first session. Just trying to rebuild a little confidence and, figure out a new track also. I've never been out here in Willow Springs. And layout's cool. Got some elevation, which I was surprised by. Rob puts on a good event. We're out here having some fun, and practice is kind of going all right so far. Trying to learn the bike, learn the track, and we'll see how qualifying goes.
Are you going to be coming back here for Bagger Racing League? You want to become the champion of another league?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's always the goal. The Suburban guys, Joe puts a good program together with Sly Fox, and we're making some interesting plans for next year. So we'll see what we can come up with over winter, and hopefully give the Trask boys a little run for their money.
We want you to stay safe. We want you to stay healthy. Keep that femur intact this weekend, Jesse Janish.
Jesse Janish getting the call down there again. This is the first call for the final race of the day, Bagger GP. We know that they're tuning up. They're getting dialed in. Trask has got the boost in that turbo turned up, and we can't wait to see how this one plays out. Ruben Zaus, the NAMS Bagger GP class, one of our premier classes. Jeff Zielinski, not able to make it this weekend, but when we were at the last race, he was our guest commentator. He's not a racer, though, like you. He's in here with you. So Jesse Janish, Ruben Zaus, Shane Narbone, Oleg Pychek, and Eric Stahl on the line. We decided to take the top 6 from the Pro Stock class. We're going to see those riders. This is kind of their toe into the deep end to go, hey, do I have the pace? Do I have the technique? Do I have the style? Or do I got to work on it a little bit? Let's go back down to the podium. We got some Superbike guys down there. Diana, who you got?
Your third place finisher, John Litzy. Congratulations, finishing third here at Willow Springs. You run a wonderful race, clean, kept it on 2 wheels, and here you are, third place finisher for this weekend.
Yeah, thank you. We're real excited. We came down to this race kind of a last minute, a couple of weeks ago, decided to come down, and it's been fun. It's been cold and windy and tumbleweeds going by, but we had a great time. The bike ran good, and I take a third any day just to get on the podium. So
we were chatting a little bit. You are familiar with this racetrack, so when you come out here last minute like this, you can put down some solid laps and you get on the podium.
Yes, that's it. Just takes years of experience, but it just takes a little practice to get up there, for sure.
Well, congratulations, John Litzy. Once again, your third place finisher for Classic Superbike.
Diana covering all the bases down there. We got to talk to a couple more Superbike guys. I want to give a shout out and a call to the NAMS Bagger GP. Second call, gang. Get those things fired up. Get the leathers on. Let's go. Bagger GP, NAMS will be coming up next, but right now we're going to wrap up some podium interviews with the Superbike riders. Now, Diana's going to go through and find out a little bit more about second and first, and when we go back down to her, she'll give us a look. I think she's got some info. Diana Dahlgren, who you with?
Mark Miller, your second place finisher here at Willow Springs Raceway. Congratulations. You ran this bike clean through the lines, through a clean race overall, really. That's all I got to say about you.
Yeah, it was good fun. We've been riding out here for many years, and Curtis Adams, who won the race today, has always been like the man to beat around here, even in the AMA Pro stuff when they come here. So, yeah, thanks so much for like Bridgestone Tires and Scorpion Helmet and Hypercycle and all the boys that have helped us out. It's just been really good, really fun.
You are familiar with this racetrack. How was it with these conditions today? It's brisk, it's cold, there's tumbleweeds going by, people having tumbleweeds blow up in front of their faces. How was it out there?
Yeah, we were literally like trying to avoid the tumbleweeds and stuff. For Willow, this is a mellow day. You know, it's not 200 degrees and it's not too windy, but it's honestly, it's just cool to hang out with some friends. There's no real pressure. There's nothing a lot. Just don't scratch these pretty bikes. That's job one.
Yeah, you see this beautiful bike right here running the number 10 plate. Congratulations again, your second place finisher.
Oh, third and final call for all Bagger GPs. You should be down on the grid. You had me on 2, right? So once again, we're getting ready to talk to the top man in the class. Diana, who you down there with?
Congratulations, your first place winner, Curtis Adams. You run a flawless race out there, even in these horrible conditions. And you know, I talked to second and third place. They said you're the man to beat. And here you are, top of the box again.
Well, that's nice. It's always a lot of responsibility, you feel like, when you go quickest in each session, and it's like, oh, you're supposed to win, you're supposed to win. It's far more responsibility than being second, you know, and coming out and just riding. So you just got to put that out of your head, and that's why we run the race or play the game, is to, you know, see how it ends up on Sunday. So it was a good day.
They said that you've been out here for many years. You're the guy at the Willow Springs Racetrack. Everybody knows your name here, and here you are.
Yeah, I mean, I tell people not to judge off of what I do or how I ride here, because it's unfathomable how many laps I have around this place through the years and years of racing, through 40 years of racing here, and then testing for other manufacturers and magazines and everything. So it's, people can't comprehend the number of laps I've had here. I kind of know every inch of it. So it's a disadvantage to everybody else. I understand that.
Curtis, who would you like to thank here? And let's show off this beautiful bike here that you have.
Thank you. It's I got to thank Jeff Stern and Natalie Johnson. You know, they've been behind me for all of this. You know, Dunlop Tires helped us out a little bit this weekend, and you know, mainly we're just a privateer out here having fun as an old, you know, couple of old guys out playing. So yeah, we did it on our own, so it's all good.
Congratulations, Curtis Adams, your number 1 finisher for Superbike.
And down on the track, we got that now. Our final race, everybody down there just checking them in. This is Bagger GP, the NAMS Bagger GP. Jeff Zielinski, we miss you. We wish you were here. But because this one is so interesting, Ruben Zaus down there, Nick Trask trying to, Jesse Janis coming back from a broken femur. Lot of stories.
Yeah, a lot of great stories out here. You know, Ruben Zaus, the team fueling, making shockwaves through the BRL community with their announcement of Ruben Zaus jumping on their 111 motorcycle that they just got put together. So Jesse Janis, I know he's hungry to get back on the podium. We'll see if he can put it together here as they jump out on their sighting lap and get ready for the grid of this NAMS Bagger GP.
You know, a lot of times on these sighting laps, people look at maybe what's happened to the track or what's not, but it's our first chance to see Ruben Zaus out there as Jesse Janis on the Sly Fox Suburban Harley Davidson, Craig Braymiller. It's our first time that we've seen the 2 Trask Turbo guys hook up. We got, obviously, Shane Narbone, who's going for his 3rd Fred Fox Cup, and in the number 2 spot right in front of him on the other Trask Turbo, it's Gunnar Olette. They're both from the same area. They both ride for the same team. I don't think they've squared off yet. This could change the dynamics incredibly at that truck.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see if there's any sort of team communications. Maybe Gunnar could be helping Shane out there, maybe being a little bit of a blocker or something. You know, it's always interesting with the team and dynamics. You've got 2 riders from the same team. Maybe they could help each other out. Hopefully they don't slow each other down.
Well, on this sighting lap right now, they're just kind of like settling in, finding out what the temperature's like, what kind of wind forces they're going to be battling out there. There's some of the tumbleweeds that they were talking about making their way across the race surface. I mean, we are out in the middle of the desert.
Yeah, and as the afternoon has gotten late here, the wind has picked up, so these guys are going to have to, just keep in the back of their mind that the wind, they may come around to the corner and have a crosswind. They may have a tumbleweed that comes across the track, so they're really going to have to stay alert and stay committed to their lines. Here they come down the front stretch, getting ready to grid.
A couple of these riders are going to have to line up in the back. They're going to let the Bagger GP ride be Ruben Zaus up on the pole. We got Shane Narbone, Ruben Zaus in second, Jesse Janis in third on that front row. Then we go with Oleg Pychek and Eric Stahl back on the next row. And then the pro stock baggers are going to come up there. Steve Chamberlain, he's getting ready to go out there and battle. And we see Jesse Janish making his way up to the front. Shane Narbone climbs up on the outside. Ruben Zaus, rider 111. World Superbike, MotoGP, you name it, this guy's done a whole lot of that. Oleg Pychek had a little bit of a tough break out there in the session where he went down, and you hate to see anybody go down, and I think wisely he's elected to sit this one out.
Yeah, that's unfortunate for Oleg, but flagman comes off. We're getting ready for the start here. Bagger GP, these guys got their revs up, looking for the green flag. These guys are on it. Here we go, and they are off. Bagger GP into turn 1.
Definitely a clean start. Everybody hanging in there. Chamberlain even gets off the line well. And here comes Jesse Janish up the inside. Janish 4 months ago on the Sly Fox Suburban Harley broke his femur. Now he's back and pulled a whole shot.
Yeah, that was an absolute great start by Jesse. Got a jump off the line and into turn 1 first. He's looking to maybe put a little bit of space between him and the rest of the class here as they round the corner in turn 2, head up the hill into turn 3. This is a tight battle, top 3. Bagger GP, Jesse Janis, Ruben Zaus, and Shane Narbonne charging up the hill.
Nams Bagger GP, and out front it is the former AFT license. Look at Arnie Wells. Arnie Wells is filling it right now. He's starting to put some work on Sam Guerin.
Man, Arnie's just almost off-roading there, going on the inside of Sam, being really aggressive here in the first lap. Jesse Janis still with the lead. Shane Narbonne took over the number 2 spot. Ruben Zaus still trying to hang on to that front group there. Shane looking to maybe make the pass here on Jesse.
I think Jesse's one of those riders, because of his mental state, he's very comfortable out front. He's not hearing the noises or getting rattled. Now it looks like, is that Ruben Zaus trying to make a move around the outside? Tumbleweeds, bikes on the outside of the track. This place, it's the Wild Wild West.
This is crazy. This is close battles. Tumbleweeds blown across. Ruben Zaus out front. Jesse Janis in the second. Shane Narbonne on that turbo bike trying to make something happen down the front stretch.
Well, if you know anything about the guys over at Trask and the guys over at the Fueling, they make crazy, crazy bets before these races. And they had a pig that transferred back and forth. Then it just became hard dollars.
They said that Ruben Zaus was going to be at the top of the box today. And so it's incredible to see the pass that he just made. I mean, look at how low he's laying into the corners. I just feel like that's his GP coming out in him. He's laying it in thick.
He's running clip-on bars, and he's been working all session long. They're getting lower and lower on the clamps.
Well, I mean, this is a new rider. This is the first time Ruben's been on a Harley, so this is all new to him, foreign to him. I mean, he's an accomplished World Superbike and MotoGP rider, but just figuring out this bike, they've come a long way since yesterday morning. Shane looking to get underneath Jesse there, coming around turn 6. This is a great, great battle. They come down the hill.
Gunnar Olette, he's out there as well. Arnie Wells, Sam Guerin. So we have a Canadian rider from Idaho. You got Gunnar that comes all the way from Massachusetts. Ruben out front, Jesse Janish in second. And I got to be honest with you, Narbonne back in the number 3 spot. That's still a little bit surprising right now because we know the big power that machine makes.
Yeah, Shane was the number 1 qualifier. He had some really fast times there. As Shane looking to make a move. Look at that Trask bike just motoring down the front straightaway. Ruben's going to have to just hang on, tie a rope to him, and stick to that Trask bike there.
Yeah, absolutely, and that's going to be a tough way for him to go because that thing up on the boost just starts to build more and more power. So out front, Shane Narbonne going for the Fred Fox Cup. Second place, Ruben Zaus, 111. Jesse Janish back in third. Broken femur 4 months ago, and now he's third.
Yeah, that's incredible. That just shows you the power of these athletes. I mean, they're willing to put it on the line. 4 months ago, broken femur, no biggie. Here he is putting it down, Willow Springs Raceway. Let's talk about Ruben Zaus and Shane Narbonne. I mean, what happened there? I mean, we didn't catch it. Was there a pass made?
There's definitely a pass made for the lead, and I think that'll register once they come back down here out of turn 9. as we watch them work their way around the track. It looks right now like Insane Shane Narbonne is starting to put a little gap on Ruben Zaus. We're going to wait for them to come out of turn 9. They're coming back in through the top of the hill, making their way back down towards 9, and you can see the turbo on boost. This thing has been one of the most reliable 200 horsepower bikes I've ever seen, and there's one of those things just get exploded. I wonder after all these years how they all haven't just blown out of the way.
Yeah, here they come down the front stretch. Shane Narbonne crossing the finish line first. He's in the first position. Ruben Zaus trying to stay in touch with him. Jesse Janis still in tow, hanging on to third. Arnie Wells up there in fourth with a great run.
I got to tell you right now, Arnie Wells going after his teammate over there. Oh, I think Arnie Wells just went down, and we look out. We kind of saw the dust. We didn't see what happened. Arnie is up and okay. That's the number one thing for all of us. Heartbreaker right now for Arnie Wells as he went down as they entered turn number 1.
Yeah, that's heartbreaking to see. I mean, Arnie's one of my best friends, so yeah, that's a tough one. But I'm glad to see that he's up and still rolling. He's okay. He's up and moving around. But back to the action. We got Shane Narbonne still out front, stretching out that lead. Looks like he's coming down the hill into turn 6 there. The conditions are looking really tricky. It's getting really, really windy out there right now. There's a lot of wind and a lot of tumbleweeds blowing around out there. These guys got to be really careful. Just ease it in and get to the finish line.
I believe the yellow flag is going to come out in that section. I don't know what that's going to do. He's well off the track, and I think that he's up and okay. Man, these tumbleweeds are insane. You can watch them blowing across the track. The wind has picked up out in California. This is nuts.
You know, guys, it reminds me of that old game. There was a PlayStation game when I was a kid, when I was a teenager, that it was these kind of bikes racing, you know, super bikes or MotoGP, and you would see the tumbleweeds just trickling through. You know, we got snakes, we got coyotes running through. It's crazy.
I see Arnie still off the side of the track. I got a feeling they think he's far enough off the track. He's up and walking under his own. Oh, and they did just throw the red flag. They won a look out there, so the red flag is thrown. Tough break. We don't ever want to see anybody go down, but we will always err on the side of safety at this. We want attention to him. The bike looks off to the side. Arnie looks to be completely okay. I think he's moving under his own power well. Doesn't look like he's limping or holding anything.
Yeah, it looks like Arnie's okay, but he's just in a really bad spot there. I mean, he's in turn 1 on the outside of the corner. I mean, if anybody were to come off in that same spot, and it just puts Arnie at risk being right there in that position there. Wow, the replay, that's a really high-speed get-off. So really fortunate to see Arnie jump up from that. Man, that bike really took a tumble. I mean, they're reaching some really fast speeds at the end of that straightaway, so that was a really, really fast get-off for Arnie.
Man, it's good to see. He was actually up before that bike quit sliding. Tell you what we're going to do, gang. We're going to find out how this one is going to play out. They always err on the side of safety. Let's take a commercial break. When we come back, we've got a couple features, and we're going to wrap up the final Bagger GP. This is the NAMS Bagger GP from Willow Springs. We'll be back in just a moment.
Performance is a leader in high-performance aftermarket parts for Harley-Davidson motorcycles. World-renowned for industry-first bolt-on turbo systems and cutting-edge motorcycle components. All made right here in the USA. Assault the street and the track with confidence. Performance-minded, performance-driven. Trask.
Luke Leatherman here with Fueling Race Team. Absolutely incredible that you brought Ruben Zaus all the way over here. Tell us the connection and relationship between the two.
Well, Mr. Bostrom's the one that set us up with Ruben, and you know, Fueling's got a saying that goes back to the beginning of the start with the fueling company is to be the best, you need the best. So we don't like to mess around here. So, you know, we're out here at the Battle of the Baggers, the Drag Specialty sponsored show. We're promoting our products. Inside this bike are all the same components that all the drag dealers, customers can purchase right through Drag Specialties.
So with working on the bike, fine-tuning it, what is the intention going into this weekend? Obviously, you want to put Fueling #1 on the podium spot with Ruben at the helm. Do you think you can accomplish that?
I think we can. I mean, we kind of stepped outside of the paradigm here. If you look at the styling of the bike, we've got the handlebars tucked in. Ruben likes to, you know, get in there, get out of the wind, and, you know, we'll see what he's got.
Luke, why are you on the bike?
Hey, to be the best, you need the best.
You heard it first from Luke Leatherman.
By the track here, with the conditions, with the excessive wind, with the amount of everything on the track, that is going to be the final race of the day here. We're going to call it. We were 4 laps in. And, folks, we certainly appreciate it. We're going to have a podium celebration. We'll have a chance to talk to the 3-time BRL champ. We'll hear from Ruben Zaus and Jesse Janis. Gang, oh, that makes it proud. We're going to make you proud. Jim Matchett's always in our heart. We know that he was the national sales manager of Drag Specialties, and Shane Narbonne has a 200 horsepower burnout Trask turbo down there on the line. Jesse Janis getting into the action with him as well. Janis with that broken femur is going to finish 3rd.
They're down there on the floor, Diana. Yes.
That was quite a burnout down there.
Do you want me to do these now?
So they get the race stands underneath them. They're going to pop them up and prop them up. Nick Trask has to be awfully excited. I believe he picked up 2 #1 plates this weekend.
Really had a great weekend. 2 #1 plates going to the Shane Narbonne in the Bagger GP class and Gunnar Oled in the Pro Stock Bagger class. So they really had a good weekend here as they get the podium set up down there, getting Jesse Janis' Sly Glide parked down there in front of the podium.
Well, they have the machine parked down there. We're going to hand out the hardware once they get the machines dialed in. And we're going to get a second here to get this one wrapped up down on the podium. Tony, I'm going to have you talk this through for a minute. I got to make sure that we've got all the hardware these guys need. The Fred Fox Cup's getting handed out.
Yeah, this is exciting stuff. You can see Jesse down there just congratulating Shane. You know, Jesse's jumping up there. He took going home at that 3rd spot. You know, he should be happy with that after his little incident at Black Hawk Farms. Jesse should be really proud. He put in a good, solid weekend on the bike. This is a new bike to him, so, you know, he came out, did the work, put in the laps, and is bringing home a 3rd-place finish here. There's Shane Narbonne, our new champion and race winner today, getting congratulated by Ruben Zaus there. You know, the level of respect that these guys have for each other, lining up next to each other, diving in the corner, there's just a lot of respect being had here between these racers. It's great to see the camaraderie. Congratulations going on down there in front of the podiums as they get ready for the podium speeches down there. We want to thank the fine folks from NAMS sponsoring this Bagger GP class all year long. The Bagger GP, our premier class here. Going to be handing out some hardware here in just a moment as they get sorted out down on the podium. Let's go to you, Diana.
Congratulations to our third place finisher, Jesse Janish. Incredible race. You know why? Because you had a broken femur 4 months ago, and now here you are, third place finisher. Incredible.
Yeah, it was awesome. Joe gave me the opportunity. The Sly Fox guy, Suburban, gave me one heck of a bike. The Sly Guide here. Yeah, first weekend with the guys. Leg still broke. About 4 months into recovery, of about 10-month recovery. But hey, we were out here, got the whole shot. Got to lead for a little bit. Would have been good to get at least one lap led, but these guys are really good. Shane's done a heck of a year. You know, he deserves the championship. Those guys are good, and we'll do our homework this winter and come back and try to give them something better.
Well, we can't wait to see you in the 2024 season. Congratulations again, our NAMS Bagger GP third place finisher, Jesse Janish.
Well, thanks a lot, Diana. We got a couple more pieces to hand out, as well as for the third time in his career, the Fred Fox Cup will go to the Trask Turbo team. She's down there now. Let's get back down to the podium with Miss Diana Dahlgren and Ruben Zaus.
You got Ruben Zaus. Congratulations, your second place finisher here. Incredible racing happening. You led the race for a short bit, then made a pass happen, but you got over the humps. Second place here today.
Well, I've got no experience here. We just came here with a very short timing of preparing everything. But I said to the guys, I'm going to lead one lap at least, so I just promised done. So first debut here on that category and just leading the first race I've ever done with that bike. After 10 years not racing, that's a good point of starting. I think we can do good things on the future.
You know, the experience that you have coming here in MotoGP Superbike, your body just seems to be moving in a different way than these other riders. And you came in here, I mean, second place, never being on a bike like this before. It's incredible.
Yeah, I think the good thing is that we bring new things, and new things are always welcome because it makes change the mentality sometimes to people, you know. We come here just not to show nothing, it's just to make people understand that we can ride a bike differently, and maybe that becomes something more usual than we expect. And at the end, it's a great show to watch. I'm really happy to be here. Everybody welcome me very, very superbly well, and I'm ready to do those next month in my home tracks just to be able to be a bit better, to try to go in a better level. Filling bike and parts, the team crew did an incredible job the last 5 days. We built the bike from zero. The spacers on the bikes and the wheels, everything, and look how it works. So it's superb.
Congratulations again, Ruben Zaus. He's taking this bike and these parts back to Andorra in Europe. He's going to be showing the Europeans what to do on this bike. Guys, stand by for our first place finisher.
Well, thanks a lot, Diana. And again, folks, not only will he pick up the Fred Fox Cup, the #1 plate, but for the third time in a row, it'll be the #1 of Shane Narbone on the top step on the Trask Turbo. Now I see him down there talking to the crew. They're getting excited. He's making his way over. Let's go back down to the podium and Miss Diana Dahlgren with the 2023 NAMS Bagger GP champion.
Congratulations, your first place winner, the champion 3 times in a row. Congratulations, Shane Narbone, putting down an amazing race. Ruben Zaus was on your tail. You passed him. Incredible racing.
Yeah, of course. I mean, I can't thank the whole Trask Performance team. You know, 3 years ago we started this, and from where we came from, people saying Trask turbos weren't the best things to run on these bikes to race them, but you know, we've proven that point. We worked really hard the last 3 years to do this, and I couldn't do it without them. You know, they've proven me with an incredible bike, and the support and turbo that they put on that bike is amazing. You know, I've come a long way. I've ridden a lot of stuff in my career, and this is like one of the funnest things I've done. And with these guys behind me and their whole shop back at home, they just, you know, they provide me, they give me anything I ask for and need. So hats off to them. And 3 years in a row, that's no joke. You know, you have to show up to race. So we did it, and we're coming back for another one. So.
3-time Big Lance Corey is here to congratulate you, as well as Galen Anderson. Congratulations. These Harley's legends are here to congratulate you. Another red plate to add to the collection. You're tearing up. I think he told me it's a tumbleweed, but maybe you're a little emotional. Three-peat.
Yeah, of course. I mean, how could you not be emotional? These guys, sweat and tear, and they bust their butt. And thanks NAMS for supporting the class too. That's a big part of it too. So it's pretty cool. So thank you guys.
Shane Narbonne, congratulations, three-peat. What an incredible race they put down here for the NAMS Bagger GP. Guys, take it away. It's incredible.
Hey, we're not done just yet. We've got to present the Fred Fox Cup for the third consecutive year to Shane Narbonne. And for the third consecutive year, Nick Trask and Shane Narbonne have claimed the Fred Fox Cup, the most important trophy in all of the BRL. Diana, who you down there with?
We have Trask himself. You guys have put together an incredible program. It's worked now 3 years in a row. Here you are. I asked you yesterday, is your rider going to be the third, have it repeat on here for a third time? And you said, we got the rider. We know what we're doing. We're putting it down this weekend.
We had to prove it, and we did it. We had to give Shane a machine that he could win on, and he went and did his job, and he took the cake.
He took the cake, you guys. He took the glory. He took it all. Once again, the winning team, they have the formula right. Incredible. Guys, take it away.
Well, I'm sure they'd like to get on the podium and get a photo.
GP guys jumping up on top of the podium. Shane doesn't have enough hands to hold all that hardware. He's got a #1 plate, a belt, and a Fred Fox Cup. Look at him. Ruben Zaus, Jesse Janis rounding out your podium. Congratulations to our NAMS Bagger GP riders. Shane Narbonne, Ruben Zaus, and Jesse Janis. Give it up.
I'll tell you what a way to wrap up the 2023 championship run. Shane Narbonne does it again. The burnouts, the excitement, the adrenaline that makes Bagger Racing League one of the most exciting things. As the field grows, the 2024 season looks even more exciting. We got Shredder Bob that's picked up a #1 place. Shane Narbonne's done it again. Gunnar Oletta's the Trash Turbo team now has 2 #1 plates in 1 year. Then you start talking about Corey Cowan and the rest of it. 2024 certainly looks bright.
Yes, 2024 can't come soon enough. I know that the Trask team has put themselves at the top. If there's ever going to be a BRL Hall of Fame, we know that Shane Narbonne's going to be the #1 guy in the Hall of Fame. 2024 should be exciting.
They had major adversity with this wind, with this weather. It was not in their favor, but they went out, put down some of the fastest lap times that we've seen. Insane crashes, but wonderful racing. Everyone walking out of here on 2 legs. Incredible. Can't wait to see it in 2024.
Well, Diane, I certainly can't thank you enough, and obviously Tony Tucker as a racer and coming into the booth, you answered the call like an absolute legend. Couldn't thank you enough for all the hard work you did. 2 days up in the booth, and you're good. That is going to be a wrap from the 2023 Bagger Racing League. Folks, make sure you follow us on Instagram, Facebook, our YouTube channel, and thank you very much for being part of our biggest and best year yet. This is Rob Bidas signing off from the Drag Specialties Battle of the Baggers.